Go up here now. Now maybe there's a happy little clouds that just sort of float right around in the sky and have fun. Just sort of mix them up on here. Clouds are very free. Just let them play.
You think I can do that?
Tonight's Hillbilly Hives live stream is brought to you by the Channel 2 News Weather Team and their best in old school weather technology.
When severe weather strikes, the Channel 2 First Alert Weather Team is here for you. Chief Meteorologist Buddy Bailey and his team of trusted weather professionals will bring you up-to-the-minute forecasts using state-of-the-art technology, including Channel 2's exclusive new GrannyCast 2000.
My knee's really aching today. Y'all get ready for a frog strangler.
Weather can be unpredictable, but you can rely on Channel 2 and GrannyCast 2000 for peace of mind.
Oh, my arthritis is acting up today. Herbert, you better lower the umbrella on the patio table. It's gonna get windy today.
Conventional radar systems can't always give you the most accurate forecast, but our GrannyCast 2000 with its IntuiSense technology gives you the most accurate weather forecasting yet.
Oh.
So, what do you think? Partly cloudy?
Definitely.
The Channel 2 First Alert Weather Team with GrannyCast 2000 working round the clock for you.
It's 5 o'clock, y'all. I gotta go eat.
Welcome, everybody.
How's it going now?
We wanted to get the weather forecast in early tonight, everybody. Hey, it's good to see everybody out early tonight. How's everybody doing?
Good to see everybody.
We got a lot of folks in here. Let's check out the comments and see who all's here. We got Grayson, Wildwoods Honeybee Farms. He was here early. We got Son of One. How you doing, buddy? We've got Brian, Castle Hives. Kimberly from
Farms,
Illinois. Yes, Mark Miller. Good to see everybody.
Mark, be safe out there, brother.
Hey, Michael, good to see you, buddy. There's Lee, Kodiak Farms.
Yeah, man. We got
Philip Morris.
Got all the good people here tonight, don't we?
All right, there's Sawmill Charlie in the
there.
house. Yeah, good to see everybody, folks. We have got a great show lined up tonight. We got the man himself. We got Mr. Randy McCaffrey, the Dirt Rooster. He's going to be he's a busy man, and hopefully he can share a few minutes with us. And so he's liable to come in anytime between 7:15 to 9 o'clock Central Time. So y'all hang around for that. Well, we've also got a special giveaway tonight, a 3D printed hive that Larry Milam, y'all know him as Spanky, made. It's beautiful. It's a Ukrainian style hive. Houston had done a segment on those type of hives back several weeks ago, and it inspired Spanky to make one of those for us to give away on the show. So we'll be doing that later tonight, and hopefully Spanky will join us for that special giveaway. But anyway, having said that, hey, how y'all doing, Earl? Houston, how y'all?
Doing pretty good, man. Trying to hang in there.
Yeah,
like hair in a biscuit.
Yeah. That's an old Southern saying. They even probably heard that one up north, I guess.
My have. Hillbillies go everywhere. We're bad to go out and sneak into different towns and just blend in and act like we ain't hillbilly, but they're there.
Yeah.
We still stick out bad, Earl.
I know.
Yeah. When I see my relatives up north, I used to try to hide my accent, and my uncle said, "Hey, it's not working." So anyway, we might as well. We just talk like the region we're from, don't we, fellas?
Hey, I like it. When I get around people, I sometimes my accent will get worse on purpose. I I can't help it.
Yeah, well,
It just tells them who I am, where I'm from, and that lets them know this is real.
yeah, we're social creatures. It kind of rubs off. You know, I love Tim Wilson's bit. You know, you remember him? He used to be on John Boy and Billy a lot, and he had a really good bit on Southern accents and hilarious. He had them down good. But anyway, fellas, how things going, man? We're looking at big winter blast coming in, aren't we?
5 degrees.
We're getting winds here.
Tonight. 5 degrees tonight here. How about y'all?
Yeah, same here.
For the next 3 days, it's looking gloomy and ice cold.
Yeah.
Not going to get above freezing, below 0 wind chills with single digits. So it could be negative digits, you know. So
yeah, well,
really that cold.
Excuse me, Houston. Go ahead, buddy.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, really, the cold weather's better for our bees, anyways. You know, that keeps them clustered up, you know, and they're not as active and eating as much. So it can be a friend, you know, as long as they're dry.
Yeah, it's the warm and cold, warm, cold. It's harder on than anything, isn't it?
Day before yesterday, we had a good warm day, so I checked them out there, and I was surprised to see how much. But you know, I guess it makes sense. Old dry foam, you know, it's so old it just that moisture just sucks right up in it, and it wasn't wet, but I could tell it was damp as I've ever, you know, felt it. So, but they had good storage food, and when it was warm, they was really getting it, and I was happy to see. They look like there's plenty of them.
I keep a feed sack between my foam, or you know, it kind of helps any moisture it might get in the box, keeps it out of my foam. But I use that, you know, that 2-inch, whatever, that polystyrene or whatever, what everybody else uses.
Yeah.
And but I keep that feed sack underneath it, and it kind of helps. There's an extra barrier, you know. I
got a top board and then the cushion, and then
okay.
Top. You got to keep that barrier in between them. But when I get me some of that one of these days, I'm going to try it out and use it, because everybody seems to have good success with that bubble wrap.
Yeah.
So with that foam on there, like that, covering up your the hole on the inner cover, you don't have to worry. You don't really have any ventilation. You don't worry about it because the moisture is going to be on the sides, or if it forms any at all.
Yeah, it's got to be on the sides, and that's where you want it. I've been monitoring moisture and humidity for a while now, and you cannot. They got to have moisture when they're raising brood. There has to be a moisture element, because think of it as a wet womb. I mean, there's youngins being born here, and they want to keep it moist and warm, and because you don't want no kind of drying out. And because I first got carried away, I'm like, look at this high moisture, what do you do? And I'm poking holes in every sides of the boxes, and they're trying to block them off and raise it on up. And I'm like, why is it so high? And then once in a while, don't know why, they'll drop it down to about 50, keep it there about half a day or all day, and then right back up to 89, 90. You know, and I'm like, well, at least it's on the sides. I know it's not on the top, because, you know, the pillars are working well. They were just slightly damp. So
maybe they're recycling the air out of there one time a day or something.
I don't know, but it's possible. You know, but as many breaks as we've had here lately. Now, here in the next few days, I can't wait to get out there and sneak a look at them with the flare when it's 5 degrees. You know, I'm gonna be doing that. I got to check it out.
Cool.
Yeah, you'll be able to see a contrast for sure then, won't you?
Oh yeah. I've already seen big differences in, you know, insulated versus non-insulated of the same bees and different hives. Just on purpose, I did that so I could watch them and see. And it's about what you could expect. Moisture's always lower in the insulated hive than it is the uninsulated. Moisture's always higher in the uninsulated hive.
Well, I use sugar bricks too, and that kind of helps take some of that moisture out too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so.
It does.
They act as an excellent desiccant.
Sure. It's like
I
the
noticed,
sugar. The sugar wants that moisture. It sucks it right in.
And
I
then I have
noticed
to
my
make them
bees was
surf in the
searching.
bottom when I pull
They
those
were
trays
searching
out.
for water.
I have to bust it up because it'll get a shell on it from the moisture and keep it good and soft. You know, it's
Yeah, mine was searching for water the other day. Maybe I don't know if it could be such a thing as too dry in there, but I noticed they were, those political signs I keep on some of those empty hives. When they get wet, they store water in there, and usually the bees line up. Well, it was dry, and I noticed the bees were going right around the top edges of them. They was looking for water.
oh yeah, they'll hit these rails around the porch in the mornings when it starts, the temperature changes and those rails are still cold and it warms up. That it'll just get dampness on it and that humidity will gather. They'll be all over these rails, sucking it
I had
up.
good dry bottom boards, so I hope it can ride out like that. We'll see.
Yep.
Fingers crossed, praying for them, and hope for the best.
That's all we can do, man. It's in God's hands. You do everything you can, and ultimately,
Right.
it's in God's hands.
Yeah, but it's something else to worry about, isn't it, guys? I find myself thinking, man, I hope they're all right. I hope they're all right. Pacing the floor, and then
Throw up me
I'll
a
do
segment,
that.
and I'll run my jaw on something I've been studying on. If you want to, Bubby.
all right. Let's see, Earl. Now, I don't have I don't really have anything ready, man, because I wasn't really prepared for any segment intro.
That's okay. I'll just talk about it anyway. But I got in it on accident. I didn't really mean to get into it. I want to say I didn't really believe all that much in the differences, really, until I brought these bees home and got to study and monitor them. And, as I had a high mite count in one and dropped that down, made the videos and stuff and showed all the ones I killed and stuff. But I noticed the one hive, and only one hive, had adults with the deformed wing virus, and the other hive had hardly any mites, and the other mite had none. But the mite that just had a few mites, I noticed they was dragging out larvae, and they just drop a few, not many, on the porch. They try to take them off the porch, but still they'll drop a few and cheat and go on back to the hive, and I'll find them. And so I found the larvae with the deformed wing virus, and I'm like, these girls are pulling them out before they're adults. Hey, there's Brother Steve Horton. Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you, Steve.
I never seen that on the other hive, and the other hive, like I said, had adults. So this hive was culling them before they ever hatched, and so I'm like, so there is a big difference. And I started looking at Corey Stevens, probably one of the biggest BSH guys out there right now, and soon to be bigger as he continues his degrees and whatnot. Hey, Carl. But he's done a lot of great work, and it's super interesting work, man, that you can, especially with somebody that ain't got a lot of bees, like all of us actually, backyard beekeeping, we can do it easy. And that's start selecting for that stock and using that stock as, so I've not done the test yet. There's different tests you can do to test for Varroa sensitive hygiene. One's called a Harbo assay, and the other one is this UBO spray, which is a unhealthy brood odor. I think they're like crushing mites and larvae, like when the larvae gets pulled out with mites on them, they crush that up and somehow make that unhealthy brood odor, if I'm not mistaken. Spray it in a circle, come back in 2 hours and see how many's uncapped, and it's a percentage.
Mark Miller mentioned that the other night on here. Oh, it was he mentioned some about it, but
So
I didn't know anything about it.
As I use these ones for breeding this spring, I'm going to be hitting them hard because by then I'll have learned and have the stuff to do it and be able to test for it. And if I'm right in what I'm seeing, because it was so obvious I could see it, so maybe with testing I can, and here's the thing, if you have a bee hive that is tested in, above 80%, say 95, she's worth several $100s.
Mark mentioned you about have to raise mites to do that.
Several hundred. Well, you would have to have a mite bomb, because as I thought, well, I can't make no UBO spray. I wiped them out. Maybe next year, But man, they look good right now. Not seeing any more drop on the bottom board. Nothing in the hives. No more deformed wing viruses being seen or drug out. And that formic really cleaned them up. I'm tickled with it.
A lot of activity. Those last videos you did, at the hive entrance, I was amazing. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool out, man.
I wish I would have done a video yesterday, but I left my phone in the house because I wasn't expecting it. I was just out there. When that sun hits those, there is really something to be said about the sun's radiance. Have you seen in my videos? The insulated hive ain't going to get that.
My insulated hive, they wouldn't fly in.
Uninsulated
the other
hive,
two were flying.
Yeah.
So when that uninsulated hive gets hit by that sun, they're out of there quick. And as a result, I'm seeing this hive will come out, then this hive will come out, and then when the sun hits, it's the last one, and it'll come out.
Yeah.
It was just amazing to watch, how the temperature and the sun and the difference was doing them.
I think that's why a lot of guys use that tar paper on there, just for that, solar gain on it. Not so much as that insulation, but for the sun.
I've got 2 wrapped and just that one left unwrapped. And I only done that because, I bought them. They were so equal. I equalized them out, and I wanted to see, prove on my videos, show it. And so I'm being able to do that, and that's going to be great.
Very good.
And you can see, y'all know those frames I left outside, the 2 burnt ones and the 2 regular. Where do you see those again?
Burn ones still look good, don't they?
Yeah. But I don't want to touch those other ones, really.
They're already getting kind of gray looking.
They got green, black, and
green,
white
black
hairs
too.
all over them.
Oh, hey, fellas! Guess who has arrived?
All right.
The boss.
All right. Oh, fellas, everybody, I am so excited to be able to bring this next guy on. Everybody knows him, and everybody loves him. I know, Mr. Randy McCaffrey, the Dirt Rooster. Please give him a warm round of applause.
The boss. You didn't think one guy clapping can make that much noise, did you?
Hey,
Where's that rubber chicken at?
I'm squeezing its neck real hard.
Not here, man. You're the boss, and you know it.
Oh man, we're tickled to death. You're willing to come on and talk to us a little while, Randy. Thank you, brother.
Oh man, glad to be here.
Awesome, buddy.
What y'all got going on tonight?
We just same old thing, man. Just getting together and running our jaws a little bit, talking about bees and other stuff.
All my dirt rooster stuff's on my hive and out in my bee room. I was looking around for something to grab. I just saw out there.
I ain't got nothing. I'm at Stinger Juice right now.
Oh, Stinger Juice. All right.
Woo.
That's my dad's. I had to come over here and fill up his bottling tank for him.
How is your dad, Randy?
He's doing pretty good right now. He's up and down, and one day he's can't get out of the recliner, and the next day go to check on him, and I can't find him because he's out in the woods somewhere on a tractor. He's unpredictable.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah, he did good with that horizontal hive this year.
Yeah, he actually ordered him another one. He's going to pick another one up at Hive Life. I would show a picture of it, but it's going to be a surprise for him, and I don't want him to be watching y'all's stuff and see it. So.
Oh, gotcha.
I think he actually would be watching us.
Not much chance of it, but he might stumble on it.
So you're saying there's a chance we get to meet Dad at Hive Life?
He'll be there. Yeah.
I got to meet him last year. Great guy.
He was. I was out at his house last night, and the stream team had their thing last night, and Ian was, and he didn't know anything about it. I was out on his back porch broadcasting last night, and Ian was on the stream team talking, and I could hear Ian in the other room. I'm like, what is he watching it? But he was watching some of Ian's other videos, and my mom's in there going, why is he keeping his bees in water? I said, it's a flood.
You don't mean to.
Yeah.
Hang on a second, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why is he keeping them in water?
Yeah.
It keeps the hive population at a minimum.
Canadian thing.
New style.
Keeps them
It
hive
freezes,
beetles
and then when they thaw in the winter, they're like new.
Yeah. So, Randy, you gonna have plenty of hats and T-shirts at Hive Life, buddy?
Dude, we have got so many hats and T-shirts that if we don't sell them, I'm gonna be making tents and stuff.
Oh, you'll sell them.
The two,
Oh, you'll sell them.
We got 16 different hats, and
You got some cool colors, man. I seen that when y'all done that video on some of the inventory that you was going to bring with you. You and
Yeah.
Mom there.
Yeah, we got. I had my brown hat on last night. We got a brown one that looks real nice, and we got a beanie this time, and we got we do new coffee cups every year, so we got a different coffee cup again, and two of those, and hoodies and sweatshirts, and
I want that brown hat.
Yeah.
all that stuff. So yeah, we'll be loaded up and ready. And
Will you have a light colored autograph pen to autograph the darker color? That's
Yeah.
will you?
Yeah, I'll bring a silver one or something.
I might get by with one autograph.
Johnny
I might get
said
by
you
one
can't
autograph.
see it, but he signed this one 3 times.
You can't see none of it, but it's on here 3 times.
Well, you can see one of them on the inside. The other two, you could see them. You had to look real close so nobody else could see them. But
Johnny
anyway,
said I felt bad, but every time I couldn't see it, I'd have to say, one more time, please. I bet he hated me. Who
I
is
had
this
to get
guy?
some on hand because Mr. Ed's going to be there. So everybody, everybody's going to want his autograph because he don't get around too much.
How can you not love Mr. Ed, man? He's
So, it's his first time. It's his first time at Hive Life and first time at any conference besides Louisiana, I believe. So he, people don't see him out and about too much. So anybody wants to get a picture with him or whatever,
that'd be cool.
There's your chance.
I can imagine he'll be smiling.
Well, tie a ribbon on him or something, so if he gets by me, I'll at least see him from afar.
That man is so excited about Hive Life. Every time I call him, I don't know if you ever talked to him on the phone, but when he answers,
that'd be a drink.
When he answers his phone, he don't say hello. He says,
every time I watch his video, whatever my volume's at, I turn it down 3 more because I know it's coming.
Hey, Randy, you're right. He's happy to be alive. That's a good way to put it. He seems to embody that as much as anybody I've ever known. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
The only queen he ever lost, I sent him a message and said, you didn't say thank you, Jesus. That's why you lost that one. he was like,
I thought he always did.
One time he didn't, and it got away.
I missed that one.
Yeah, the only time he never said it, it got away. Ask him.
Well, that's what he deserved, and I guess he probably thought.
Well, I wasn't going to say that.
Oh, man. Wow.
Randy, I think he went, aha, I got you. And she went, right through his clip. She said, woo.
I hadn't even been looking at the comments. There's probably a lot of questions for Randy in here. One thing I've heard you tell stories a lot about how you got into beekeeping and how your brother needed help on a project that you had to help him figure out how to get into the bees. And then you said, somebody asked you one time where you learned the most from, and I think you said your brother was a mentor of yours. Am I remembering that right, Randy?
Yeah, my brother was a mentor of mine, and Mr. Roy Klingon, who is he's still keeping bees and going strong at 83 or 84 years old now, and he was my brother's first mentor, and he of course trickled down because every time I had a problem that my brother couldn't answer, he would call Mr. Roy and find out. So Mr. Roy was both of our mentors, and my dad's, and him awesome. And a lot of commercial beekeepers around here. We have a lot of commercial beekeepers that come south to raise queens every year, and gotten to meet a lot of those guys. So we leaned pretty heavily to them for queen rearing advice and you know, why don't you use inner covers, and why do you know, how do you palletize, and a lot of stuff like that.
Style, man. Really... Everything's different. Let everybody do their thing there. You got bees, you keep them alive, you love them.
Yeah. Commercial is 100% 180 out from hobby beekeeping, which is 180 out from sideline, and it's all different the bigger you get. So commercial beekeeping, some of those guys, they've got a program and they'll raise 40,000 colonies in a year, but if you send them on a cutout, they're lost as a goose. They don't have a clue.
They're specialized then, you're saying. I
got 2 hives down at mommy's, and I don't trust her on the phone. I got to go see it. You know, and that's my mommy. I could never hire people to go through my bees. I would just never be. I couldn't believe them. I'd have to, because that's what you get when you're a bipolar schizophrenic. You get that I can't trust nothing thing in the back of your mind, and it's kind of, and it ain't something that's fun. Trust me. Some people's like, oh, he's goofy, he's cool. You don't see the behind the scenes guy that don't get out of bed, you know. But now I can open my window. I see my bees. They make me go out there.
That's like therapy, I guess. That's therapy for you, into there. That's awesome.
It really is.
So there's a big difference. So someone like there's a commercial beekeeper locally here that runs 2,500 colonies, and his family runs 2,500 colonies aside from him. And he did a cutout, and this guy's been commercial for 25 years, probably. He did a cutout 2 years ago and got in a bind, and somebody talked him into calling me to try to talk him through it. And he called me, and we talked about it. He had just, I said, you've messed the whole thing up. You might as well cut their ceiling out, because you'll never clean all this honey out. And basically what he had done is gone in there and on a big hive with a large honey reserve, had done a messy cutout through
no plastic,
threw a ribbon joist over somebody's ceiling in their living room, and ran honey all over the top of the sheetrock, and wanted to know if he left it open, would the bees pull it out? Well, we were on a flow at that point, and I said, no, we're on a flow. Those bees won't touch that honey. I said, you're going to have to get in there and mop all that out, or it's going to run down through the joints in the sheetrock and stain those people's ceiling.
Man, you spend a fortune on blue tape and plastic, don't you? I mean, you cover up everything. That's like, I mean, don't even watch you.
So it's situations like that that I see that, you know, it just makes me know that there's a big difference in everything that we do as opposed to what they do. Because you ask me to run 2,500 colonies, I'm lost. I
wouldn't even know where to start.
With the first year, we're going to be down to 500 because we're going to lose that many.
On step one, sell half of them so I can afford syrup.
Wow.
So those guys were my mentors, and Darren Strauss at Wonderful Bees, they're at 70,000. No, they're at I'm sorry, Wonderful overall as a company is at 70,000. His location's at 20,000 colonies this year.
Man,
and he's one of our big mentors in the commercial and large sideline end of things. And Tommy, my brother, was up at his place tonight in Mississippi taking care of some stuff, because we're going to have a hard freeze tonight, and Darren's up north right now, so we're we see to his property down here a little bit while he's gone. But that's the guy that I don't know if you saw the video I did with the grafting tool with 250,000 grafts on it or whatever it was. That was Darren in that video, and he's been a big help. He's been in beekeeping for 28, 30 years, something like that. So wealth of information.
That's what that tool was, wasn't it? Like 30 years old or something?
Yeah, it was. I don't know how old it was, but it'd been rode hard and put up wet.
Antique.
Yeah.
I noticed one video you guys did. There was like a school, maybe a training or something. Your brother seemed to have a role in, and some folks came out, and you had a bunch of displays set up and stuff. Is that something that y'all do annually, some kind of a school or something?
We did it twice and had a real good turnout both times. It was basically hive life with a field day.
Oh, okay.
Somebody
we
tell
brought
Ricky Boss don't make no mistakes.
we brought a bunch of commercial and sideline guys together to teach whoever wanted to show up. But we had like first year we had 80 or 100 people show up. So basically, we had a bunch of guys showing people how to build nukes, and whatever they built, they bought and took home with them. And so we're on a commercial yard with I think there was a tractor trailer load of 10 frame deeps there. So there have been about 460 or so hives there, and we were making splits off of those and teaching all these guys how to make splits, how to queen spot, what they're looking for. So you got a bunch of guys that are professionals teaching a bunch of newbies or younger beekeepers how to put all that stuff together. And we had vendors selling equipment, suits, and specialty gear and all kind of stuff. And we had posters all over the walls. So at every station you go to, you'd have somebody like my dad. I think my dad's was explaining the life cycle of a bee or something. So he would have all his posters that we had bought from Dadant on the walls, and he would take a group of 20 or 30 people and explain the life cycle of a bee and explain swarming and all these kind of things. So you got, I think we had 5 stations and vendors and all that good stuff. And it was fun, but it was tough to put together, and it was not profitable to anybody but Darren, because he was the one selling all the nukes.
That's it.
So getting everybody together to bust it for a day or 2 days and make this happen was tough to begin with, and then it just got old. So.
Yeah, sure. Understand.
White suits everywhere.
We did
no doubt.
Twice. It was a brand new white suit. It looked like a marshmallow convention. Yeah.
Cool, man.
So the second year we had a bigger registration, but that was the year that it flooded real bad in Louisiana. And a lot of the people in Louisiana couldn't even get to us because the streets were flooded. And that's the year that Mr. Ed's apiary washed off into the swamp. And so probably 40 people that were supposed to show didn't. And that was the last year we did it.
How many did he get back? Yeah.
I don't know if he got any. I think he got some of his equipment back and maybe a couple of clusters.
He's on styrofoam pallets or something.
But it was 1 yard, and he's got multiple yards, but it was 1 yard, and it was at a point where before he had really started growing. I don't remember how many hives it was, 20 maybe. I'm not sure, but I don't think he was. I think he was 40 or 50 hives at that point.
Yeah.
But he got some of his equipment back, but a lot of it just floated away.
You think a big part of y'all's success down there to be able to not have to treat as much as just the bees there's so many feral colonies, and maybe they're more adjusted to.
I think a lot of it has to do with the climate.
And no cluster.
The heat.
Well, I don't know that it's the temperature. I'm not sure really what it is at this point, and I've done a fair amount of studying on it. I've done mite shakes on so many swarms and cutouts now that I'm just sick of doing mite shakes on them.
Hey, I've watched you. You blow my mind one time. I mean, you done like 2 mite shakes, and was like, these are good. And then you uncovered some brood and was like, no, they're not. And I was like, wow, I just saw you do 2 shakes, and it was nothing.
Yeah, when you do 2 washes on a colony and you come out with 0 mites on 2 washes, and every other colony is 2 mites on a wash or something like that, and the results are pretty similar. The most I've ever gotten in a wash is about 12 mites, and that was 2 hours north of here, or an hour north of here.
Man, I beat you with 13.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So y'all don't have to worry about it as much. I mean, your percentages are good and low. They're healthy going into the winter.
Yeah, everybody still worries about it because it's such a big thing on social media that everybody says you have to treat. So everybody down here treats with the exception of the few that are diehard treatment free. But pretty much everybody treats anyway. Even
just
though,
in case.
Yeah, even they don't even check. They just treat. They don't. Yeah, they're not doing mite washes or ether rolls or anything. They're just checking. I mean, they're just treating.
That's what I've been doing, Randy. I got so few hives. I just, I hate to kill that many bees. I mean, I know it's a real small number, and I know they'll sacrifice their lives for the good of the colony, but I just hate killing them. I think, well, I'm gonna use OA anyway, and so why do a wash before and after? But I can see why the data would be real important. But I'm not getting a real big drop on my screen bottom boards where I pull those out. I mean, I'm seeing 1 or 2 dead mites, after the treatment. So I'm hoping I'll be okay.
I really started checking these feral colonies because of getting invited to speak different places. I don't know. I mentioned it last night. I don't know if y'all were listening last night that I couldn't be a Fred Dunn or
I heard that
Bob Benny and all that. But kind of when I would go to a talk somewhere and talk about cutouts and stuff, that is so niche that not really a lot of people are ever going to do it. It's interesting to some people, but they're not ever going to do it. And so I kind of wanted something that would kind of apply more broadly to beekeepers. And so I thought, well, who better to study feral colonies than me, because I see more than most anybody in the country. And so I started doing mite washes to kind of see what that was all about, because I'm treatment free, and all these feral colonies are absolutely 100% treatment free. So I was like, well, let's see what they look like in nature. So I started doing the mite washes, and when I'm seeing such a low mite count on every single one of them, it just gets old and repetitive, and I'm not really finding any new data. So I just kind of quit doing it, and that it's not much of a talking point. So
makes me wonder, Randy. Sorry, Hughes.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Houston was asking if you keep records on that. I guess, or you just kind of remember it as time goes.
No, I did keep records on it. They're in a notebook somewhere, buried in the console of my truck, probably.
I know what you mean.
I actually was going to map it all out and show the geographical area that we're working in, pinpoint all the mite washes we had done. But then after a while, I was like, I'm not, because I thought maybe I would see as we went north, you would have an increase in the amount of mites per hive, but I didn't really see that. It's pretty standard, across the board. That's what I'm finding from the Gulf Coast to 2 hours north. And so I just like, so the only thing I can attribute it to, and I've gone over all these scenarios in my mind. Maybe it's the Gulf air, maybe it's the salt water, maybe it's this and that, because we pull a lot of them off of, they thrive on brackish water. So we pull a lot of them off of brackish water. Houses, you see us do a lot of stilt houses. They're all on brackish water. And so I thought maybe it was something to do with salt. So I thought, well, maybe I'll start adding salt to my feeders or something. And so you go 2 hours north, there's no Gulf air up there. There's no salt. There's nothing. So with the same results up there, same results. So the only thing I can say is that sometimes there's natural barriers that we can't see. Just like hive beetles don't thrive in the north, we don't have elk in the south, and there's nothing keeping elk from walking to Mississippi except for Mississippi hunters. But there's things that we just don't have down here, and there's nothing man-made that, or nothing we can really see where that barrier is. And you can say, well, it's a lack of food supply. Well, if it was lack of food supply, there wouldn't be 300-pound deer in a Louisiana swamp. So
yeah. Great points. And the points you make me wonder, guys, if we wouldn't see similarly low mite counts in feral colonies we catch around here, because I've never tried that, and that would be interesting.
Well, that's been some of Tom Seeley and them's biggest thing is on catching the wild stock, is that they've been living with them somehow. They still make honey. They still split off. They're alive.
Yeah. They're, when I read that only 20% of them make it through the winter, though, it made me, and I realized that beekeepers have a better percentage than that. You think it's more than that, Randy? Is that maybe that's a national average? That's a national average, maybe.
It's way higher than that. I don't know who came up with that number, but
I think I know where it goes wrong.
I wish I could remember.
They consider in the commercial element. They're still beekeepers, and their data still applies. Backyard beekeepers don't have that kind of loss ever, or it would be devastating. That you're coming from somebody, like you said, had 2, 3, 5, 20,000 hives. Yeah, they can make that percentage jump a lot.
Yeah. Well,
what kind of numbers, Randy?
Say it again.
The numbers, like how many swarms are you comparing when you was doing all those washes, roughly, you know?
We typically I'll get 40 to 50 swarms in a year, and I was washing I probably washed 30 last year, or 25 last year and 25 this year, something like that.
Interesting.
Well, it was, I washed everyone this year, but I only wasn't 25. I only caught 19 this year. So I did 19 this year. Last year, probably 25. And on the cutouts, I don't even remember. We do a lot of cutouts, and I think we did close to 100 cutouts this year.
Wow.
I probably checked half of them.
All right, I see.
Half of those, and those are same too. I mean, that's just like a feral colony, right? I mean,
yeah, it's absolutely a feral colony. It's
So 50, 75 a year, you're screening them and getting your numbers from that.
Well, that's only over 2 years, because when I first started, it was right before COVID hit, and when COVID hit, you couldn't buy alcohol anymore, and I hadn't heard about using windshield washer fluid and soap and stuff at that point, so I just quit the study until I could get alcohol again.
Yeah.
So as soon as the alcohol market freed up, I started doing it again.
How much cluster time would you say y'all's bees have down there where you live a year?
Oh, what's today? By next Wednesday.
A week or two.
We don't have cold weather hardly. We've got three days of freeze coming right now, and it's going to be unusually cold, and it's supposed to be in the mid-20s. And it's got people panicking. It's it's supposed to be 27 degrees here tonight, and everybody's sending out warnings, and
what I was doing was I was trying to make a connection in my mind that most people lose their bees to Varroa. It's in the winter, and that's usually when they're clustered, and you all aren't having a lot of cluster time down there, so they're not really clustered up in the torpor, so that the beetles can take advantage and have free reign, and the mites and everybody. You know what I mean? If they're hardly ever in that shape, they're always out working. They can maybe fight them better. I don't know.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. We'll lose our loss percentage down here is probably as much as anywhere else, but it's not because of Varroa mite, in my opinion. It's probably more from starvation, because they'll fly all winter down here, and there's not much resources.
Yeah.
So they'll run out of a lot of resources just flying looking for something to eat.
Yeah.
And it gets, I don't know, I exaggerate a little bit about our cold. It does get cold enough that they don't work probably a month out of the year. During the day they can come out and fly.
30 days. Rub it in, man. I'm just kidding. You said
30 days, rub it in, yeah.
Rub it in.
Only 30 days of cold weather, we get 90. Usually they don't stay that all 90, but it could freeze anytime.
We might have a month worth of days, and it won't be consecutive, but we'll have a month worth of days where they're not flying because it's that cold. But it's only, it's gets in the 40s or whatever. 5
degrees here tonight. The next 2 nights, like you're talking about, it's supposed to be bad. So, single digits for us.
Randy, do you see a wide variety of genetics in the swarms that you catch, like different colors, like some way darker? Or are they all similar down there?
The colors range from pure black to bright orange, tiger stripe, like JP likes to call them. The colors range widely, but they're probably all or mostly Italian. And the reason I say that is because when you got rough guesstimate, I don't know if you know who AD Honey Farms is.
Oh yeah, I don't know of him from some of your videos.
They run 100,000 colonies. They're in South Mississippi. Of course, they don't bring all 100,000 to South Mississippi. They're all over the place because it's a huge operation. But they're down here. Wonderful's down here with 70,000, and they're spread across Florida and Mississippi, and Texas.
A lot of drones.
But you got all these
doubt.
guys raising pure Italian stock, and it's hard to not breed out everything else in the environment when you got that kind of population coming through. And that's just naming 2 guys, 3 guys, whatever. I've got we got Skip Hines is 15 minutes up the road. He's 3,800 colonies. There's what's his name? Kent Williams is just 45 minutes away. I don't know how many he runs, but he's a commercial beekeeper, and he's right here in South Mississippi. You got, you can throw a stick and hit a commercial beekeeper around here raising queens in the spring. So
why preferentially the Italian strains? Is they can do better with that for pollination or something?
Spring buildup.
I think it's just they're just a hardy variety, and everybody's just run them for so long. They're familiar with them. They're familiar with it. Works for their program. The Koi family is the only ones around here that I know of that run anything different. They run Russians, and they're 5,000 colonies. So, and they're 30 minutes north of us. So anything that, if I ever expected to find anything but Italians, it would be Russians, because they do sell some. So you might have the odd
Italian anyway.
You might have the odd hobbyist that bought some Russians and lost a swarm and it got in somebody's house, but pretty much everything around here is the same size. It's a similar color, but I've found jet black queens and
wow,
bright orange ones.
Very.
And you don't feed either, do you, Randy?
You
don't feed either, do you?
I do feed. Not in the conventional way that most of y'all think. When I come home from a cutout and I've got a couple of buckets of comb honey in the back of my truck, I just let them have at it.
Oh, nice.
Right. Well, you was talking about all the commercial guys down there. I guess they'd have to be competing for forage, with that many colonies in an area. I didn't know if you kind of seen effects off that for the
and they're
having to feed extra.
No, and they've got a lot of yards. That's half of their job down here is obtaining yards and maintaining relationships with whoever owns that property or whatever. So they'll run place 50 hives on a pasture, go down the road, 50 hives on another one, go down the road, 50 hives on another one. So they're spreading them all over the place. But I don't really. I can drive up the road and 30 minutes and maybe see 20 hives out somewhere. It's not like they're everywhere.
Right.
But I don't see the only effects that I see is if I overpopulate my own yard, then I have to start feeding, because you can tell that the resources are not there to support 100 colonies on a yard.
Right. Right. I didn't know if those other ones affected your yard close to them or what. That's interesting.
They don't have any effect on my stuff, but if I overpopulate a yard, I do have to feed. So, and we use pro feeders, or my dad uses a lot of jar top feeders, just a hole drilled in the lid with a mason jar on upside down. But I prefer an internal feeder, and I like the Saracel top feeders, but I only have 2 of them, and so I don't use them much, just because
they need to send you some more than nothing.
Yeah, you heard it here, Saracel.
I don't use them much, only because I only have 2, and it's just 2 of anything's not good when you got 100 colonies.
Right. I guess you have to be careful with pollen patties down south, huh?
You do. Much. You gotta feed in how you call it? You gotta ration
small portions or whatever where they'll eat it up.
Yeah, you gotta ration it out in finger-sized pieces so they'll take it down before the hive beetles get in.
It's like down in North Carolina where they got that sandy soil. That's their biggest problem. Is fighting beetles all the time. It's like they live, so many is in the ground and they're just coming out like armies.
Yeah. It's a regional.
If you put a full pollen patty on a hive down here, you can almost count on you probably killed that hive, because
Really?
once the hive beetle larvae get in there and start laying, the bees the bees can't stand that smell
They run
of the whatever that mucus is that the hive beetle larvae put off, mucus and feces, whatever they put off.
Yes,
Yeah.
That'll run bees off of a frame. Those bees have to be. I can take a hive beetle slime frame that's full of honey and set it out in a dearth, and it takes them a while to touch it. They'll get it if they're hungry enough and they want it bad enough, but they don't.
Oh, they don't want to. They probably send the younger bees out there to clean that up.
Yeah, so a lot of people send me pictures of their hives. They'll have a big beard on the front of their hive, and they go, "What do you think?" And I go, "I think you need to do an inspection." Well, don't they look good? I don't know.
Can't see inside the hive.
It could be a super strong hive and it's got that many bees in it, or it could be dead empty and everybody's out on the front because it stinks inside.
Right. Hey, John, you want to throw that link out for everybody?
Yeah, it's getting close to time, isn't it? We've been hogging Randy ourselves the whole time.
Well,
we appreciate you, man.
We can't.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hey, can you spend a little more time with us, Randy?
Yeah.
Oh, good deal, man. All right, folks, we're posting the link, and come on in here and have your questions ready. Hey, Ricky Roark put up a question earlier. Tell us about a comment or a request to tell us about a story where you had a bad cutout or a mistake with a cutout or something like that. You got any stories like that, Randy?
Sure.
I'm human. I think Ricky already knew one, maybe, or something. Was hoping you'd tell it.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I was leaving town one day and did a cutout on a soffit, a gable end soffit on a rental house, upper end rental house. It was one of those, probably $2,500 a month rent, and soffit's 16 foot off the ground. I cut 8 foot up the soffit from the lower end, and it was full 8 foot up, and it came to a block point. It came to a 2x blocking the upper soffit. I was like, all right, I got them all. That was it. Cleaned it all up, vacuumed. No more bees were coming out, and so surely I got it all. It's 8 foot long, 2 foot wide soffit. There's no way there's any more comb than this. And I had gotten to what I thought was the end of comb. Went over into the attic just a little bit, got all that out, closed the soffit back up, cleaned everything up, left, and I was leaving town to go to Texas to my daughter's for a little bit. And the property manager calls me back that afternoon. Hey, there's still bees over there hanging off the side of the house. Like, hanging off the side of the house, there wasn't anything flying when I left. And I said, well, give them a couple of days, see what they do. So next day she calls me back. The bees are just as active as ever. I'm like, that's not even possible. Like, I got the whole hive and all the bees. And I spent some time up in there with a FLIR, flashlight, and everything. And so finally I contacted a guy I was mentoring on cutouts. And I said, hey, man, why don't you run over there and take a look at this house and give me a price on taking this upper soffit down and taking the rest of this hive out, because there must be more than I saw. So he calls me back and he says, how's $135 sound? And I was like, sounds good if you're in a Middle Eastern sweatshop. I mean,
are they hanging in a tree?
I was like, that's nothing. I said, you just do it and I'll just send you a check. And you'll be happy with it. He said, okay. So he gets up there and cuts that soffit down and sends me a picture. I missed about 4 foot of hive on that one. I was like,
oh, man.
That never happens. I've never missed that much of a hive on anything. But
that was a monster.
That was one of my screw ups. I stopped and didn't do enough investigation. I should have drilled that crossboard and checked with my scope a little further up to see what I run into. But
yeah, but solid, you think it's
clear didn't pick up or something?
And you must have had the queen. You maybe had the queen with you, huh, Randy? And the ones that were left were mad, I guess.
No, she had moved up into that space.
She's still there.
She had moved up into that space.
I got her in the vacuum.
So they would have just stayed and built out again. I would have you know, I would have just left them a nice big colony in there.
Awesome.
Man, that was a monster colony.
Hey,
But
Mr. Horton, good to see you, sir.
Yes, sir.
How y'all doing?
Steve,
How you doing?
good.
Good. Just got in from the bee yard.
Bees looking good, buddy.
They're doing good. Trying to get ready for this cold weather we getting ready to have here in Georgia.
Yeah, it's going to hit you too down there.
Yeah, it's gonna hit us hard.
Where you at?
Real hard. In Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
Athens, Georgia. Randy, I got a question for you. I know you're in Southwest Mississippi. What part of Southwest Mississippi are you in?
I'm in Gulfport, right in the center of Mississippi on the coast.
Cause my sister's in Gulfport on the coast, and it's a bee yard not too far from her house. It's going into another little town. It's hard. I can't think of it. It's an old antique farm store down there and everything. After you pass that bee yard on the left, that's not one of your bee yards, is it?
That's on Highway 53.
Yeah.
That belongs to Skip Hines. He's an older commercial beekeeper.
I have stopped in there and talked to that guy. That guy has a real interesting conversation when you're talking to him about bees. He actually walked me through his bee yard. He makes a lot of his stuff for his bees himself.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. And it was interesting talking to him.
Yeah, he's a good old guy. My dad goes up there and has coffee with him every other week, I think. And he'll sit and talk bees with you. He'll tell you anything you want to know.
Exactly. You are so right. Because he was like, well, you want to walk out here to the bee yard, there's some bees out there in the tree, and I'm waiting on them to move in the box. He said, I'm not going to mess with them. They'll move in that box in a little bit. And we sitting out there talking, them bees move right on down in that box. I told him move in there.
That's awesome.
I went up there and bought 500 pounds of wax from him this past year, and that was all he had in the warehouse. And I said, you got any more? He said, yeah, I got 3,000 pounds in Arkansas.
Good Lord.
I said, bring it on down. I'm going to need some more next year. He said, I don't know if I'll be doing this next year. You know, I'm 82 years old. I was like, yeah, I heard that last year and the year before. You'll still be there.
To be determined.
He keeps that shed out there full of empty boxes, and it seems like he's out there every time around. You catch him out there around March. Early February, out there prepping boxes, getting them ready to go.
Yeah,
awesome. Philip, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, man. See you guys. Great to see you.
And Minnesota Mike and his Santa hat. How you doing, brother?
Thawing out. Well, freezing.
Yeah, -12. Did you say -12 up there, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Wow, we're freezing here in Dallas.
-12.
-12, man, and the cold front hadn't even got there. The cold front hadn't even got there yet, has it?
No, it hasn't. But was it Texas?
Man.
I know it's like 8 degrees, and I don't know where it was in Texas. I just hope you guys are spared. You know, from last year's fiascos.
It's nothing. It's going to be nothing like that. We don't have much precipitation. So.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Hopefully we'll be okay. I do have a question for Randy.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Randy, it's really coincidental. I'm here with you tonight. I can't believe it, but I posted a video this morning, and it's showing how you, when you were going out to California last year, you noticed how they were tying their ratchet straps up and putting them up. And so I was doing that, and I said, I'm going to do a video of this because I've been doing it ever since you showed it that way. So anyway, I give you credit in my video too. But my question is, are you going to go back to California, and do you have any plans to get involved in that business out there?
I wanted to go back this year, but one of the guys that went with us last year sold out this year, and Travis decided not to go back again. He only sent 24 hives out last year on that load, so it wasn't super profitable for him. Probably after making the trip, it was a loss, but I do intend to go back. I enjoyed the trip, and I enjoyed seeing how everything went out there, and I made some connections with some brokers and things like that. So at some point, I don't know when, I would have, if I had somebody that was interested in making the trip, I probably would have gone this past year, but I don't know. I don't know when I'll go back, but I would love to go back again. Yeah.
My follow-up question is: it seemed like you were spending a lot of time video and not much time working. I'm gonna let you go back. You know, start picking up some boxes and moving.
Now we worked for. I think we were out there 5 days. I don't know. We worked our butts off.
I knew you were probably working, but nobody was going to video you working.
He didn't get any video of himself working, did.
That's the bad thing on.
Give him a bad reputation.
That's the bad thing when me and Pete go on a job. I'm the only one that does any video, and then he's starting to call it the Pete show, and I'm like, yeah, kind of.
That's good. That's good. Pete tickles me.
Yeah, everybody thinks Pete's doing all the work. I'm like, you freaking on your butt half the time. Why don't you grab a camera?
It's so funny when he gets stung. He'll say, "You witch, you witch." It tickles me to death.
He's got to have his smoke break because he's quit smoking.
No, he's still smoking.
Oh, he's still smoking?
Oh yeah.
It's hard to quit that, man.
I got a good picture of him a couple months ago. He refuses to smoke around the gas pump. So if we stop for gas, I said, light up, man. Everybody else does. No, that's stupid. So he walks over by the building to be somewhere safe to smoke. And I see him over there. He's on his phone, got a phone in one hand and a cigarette in the other. And he's standing right next to the propane tanks.
Oh yeah.
So I grabbed the camera and shot a picture of him.
Oh, that's great.
Did you turn around and show it to him?
Yeah. He got back in the truck. He got back in the truck and I showed him the camera, and he said, "What?" I said, "Turn around and look where you were standing." Yeah, so I said, "What were you standing next to?" Oh.
Hey, you might have saved his life, Randy. He'll never do that again.
Don't count on it.
Hey, Sawmill Charlie popped in here for a second. We lost him. Come on back, Charlie. If you can, I'm not sure what happened.
Hey, Randy, do you have any bees up in Gloucester, Mississippi?
No.
You ever been up in that area?
Where is that?
Gloucester, Mississippi.
I don't even know where that's at.
You ever heard of Centerville, Woodville?
Centerville.
Yeah. Woodville's just south of Natchez.
Yeah, I've heard of Centerville. No, Purvis and Hattiesburg is as far north as we've got anything.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you know that area, because that's actually, Centerville is actually my hometown, Mississippi. And I was just trying to see what you thought the flow would be like in that area.
I'm not familiar with the area too much, but anything south of the Delta. Is it south of the Delta?
Yeah.
Anything south of the Delta.
More southwest. We're close to the Louisiana line.
Yeah, anything south of the Delta should be pretty good, and you're not going to have to deal with row croppers spraying.
Right, because like in that area where I'm from, all the grow croppers have just about died out, and everything is growing up with trees and bushes and briars and blackberries.
Yeah. Was that Lee picking on me for dropping my camera off the truck?
Yeah, he was a little bit. He's rubbing it in. Hey, what about that? What about that, Randy? Did they fix it for you? I know you were going to send that back.
I hadn't sent it off. It's still on my desk. I just went and bought another one to replace it. It was the camera and the lens together, probably $1,400. I was like, I don't think it can be fixed, so I didn't even send it off.
Oh, when you and Elizabeth tried to recreate that, it didn't work too good, did it? There was no way for it to show how sad you really were when it really happened.
No, there's no way. You can't really recreate somebody, eye gouging your.
It's like somebody kicked you in the stomach. But,
Yeah, well, you know something, Randy. Every now and then, gravity sucks.
Oh, it does, man. It's that sudden stop that gets you. Charlie, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man.
Steve, you gonna put some bees in Centerville?
I'm thinking about it because we have land there, and we also have land in Gloucester.
Okay.
It's right outside of Liberty. I don't know if you know where Liberty is.
I do know where Liberty is. I did a cutout in Liberty this year.
You did?
Yeah.
I was wondering, because somebody had posted it, and they were saying about some bees up in Gloucester too. I didn't know if you had one up there and got those or not.
No, I did a cutout at a cabin in Liberty. put the video's title something like "Walked into the woods and found this" or something like that.
Oh, okay. I'll look it up.
It's like 2 months old, maybe 3 months old.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve. Liberty.
But it was a big, strong, healthy colony. If you want to know what the forage is like up there, it was a big colony.
Okay.
Nice.
Steve,
Stand some more then.
Jerry Fowler lived on Route 4 lived in Mississippi, right?
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. I passed. You got to pass by his place to go to my hometown.
Randy Phillips, a daggone architect, man. He hangs out with us common folk, but he's.
I'm trying to become a beekeeper.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Steve. Mike wants to know if you have a channel now. Now, the last time we talked, you didn't, but there was some videos up that. What was the lady's name again? Tell him, Steve, if you don't care.
Oh, shoot. Her name is Tamara Walker, and she has put some of my stuff, just some videos on YouTube.
Horton's Honey or Horton Honey. You can find it by right. Horton's Honey. Yeah, it's a really cool video. You found that one good. That's a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna look for that.
Look like fun.
Yeah.
I'm working on doing some more, but it's actually done got too cold. You know how women are. When they get cold, they don't want to be outside.
That's right.
That's right.
They want to be somewhere with the heat on.
Except for mine, she's working and she works and I don't, so she goes out where she wants to or not.
Yeah, mine's holler right here. It's cold, and I'm hollering. It's hot in here. She hollering. It's cold in here. You sit right here. It's cold.
Which my wife works in a hospital. She ain't outside or nothing. So.
Charlie, how you doing, buddy? Looks like you changed your background there.
Yeah, that's my winter configuration. I throw old carpet around the hives as for a windbreak.
Nice.
And the rest of my hives are behind a barn, so they get a break from the building itself. So it works. It helps keep the bees going.
My dad uses old junk carpet for a weed barrier around some of his.
Yeah, underneath them hives, I put carpet down and turn the backside up, and then put the stems on top of it, and that cuts out the grass. And I think it helps with hive beetles myself. I mean, I don't seem to have the hive beetles. Of course, we're up here. It's in open sun, and I think that's one of the big keys with hive beetles. If you're in a shady area, they're going to have a whole bunch of hive beetles. So
I think the shade just gives them more opportunity to exit the hive to go to ground. Because around here, and they're pretty smart about it too, because around here, if you have a bunch of dry days and you've got hive beetle issues on any colonies and it rains, when it rains, you'll see them go to ground.
Mm-hmm.
So,
really?
Yeah, I think I don't know if they instinctively know that the ground is softer now or what, but they'll
that's
hard. Good
see
hard
me
rain
outside with 2 big bottles of Dawn going bah. Keegan's all.
No, but I mean, as far as hive beetles, I mean, any time I ever see them is when if the hive is really weak, and that other than that, I don't really see it. If I see 1 or 2 hive beetles, it's a lot.
Yeah, a strong hive will corral them up, won't they? They can kind of keep them corralled up, it seems.
Yeah, but I've seen other folks, especially in the South, where they'll have thousands or hundreds of them, on the inner cover or cover and stuff like that. And I don't see that. I just don't have it.
It's nothing to pop a cover on a strong colony, and they've got them corralled up. You pop that cover, you need to disturb that corral, but it's nothing to see 200 beetles corralled in a corner. Adult beetles, not larvae. But
right.
Gunline has that problem down there.
Yeah,
Alabama.
Yeah.
Mobile.
Yeah. Peppermint has helped them tremendously from what Tim says.
Man, it's a godsend. It really does help.
Yeah, I did the peppermint thing for a little while, and then
was eating more.
I just ate them all. I just ate them all.
I ate one just a minute ago.
Trying to put them in the hive, you wind up eating more than you put in the hive.
That's what I'm saying.
You guys,
It's kind of cool
I
though.
only
You know,
got
you
2 teeth left. I keep
this is
eating
what you need to
sugar.
be
I ain't
running
gonna have
the time of
them.
year there, Randy. But
Yeah.
I can't say,
And the
I
good
can't say
thing
I've
about it,
never.
ain't no hive beetles on you, but we eating all the peppermint.
Yeah, but the good thing is I've never got a hive beetle in my mouth, so I know it works.
I know it works.
never got a slime out in your mouth. That's awesome.
I did swallow a hive beetle one time on a cutout.
Oh, it flew in your mouth. Flew in your mouth.
Yeah, I was working overhead.
Come on, Randy. Oh, Lord.
Well, wait a second.
Hey, there you go, Ricky. There was another mistake. Yeah.
Oh, I can't even look at y'all.
Well, hey, Randy, could you taste it? It went on down your throat, though. I'm gonna give you a taste.
It went straight to the back of my throat. I swallowed and it was gone.
Oh man!
No chewing or nothing.
Hey, we had Lee. Lee was asking, is it Athens, Georgia?
Athens,
Steve?
Georgia.
Athens, Georgia. That Steve is from, and Philip. Let's see, what town was he from? Because Mike was asking that. Y'all remember we lost him? We lost Philip. Anyway, he'll be back in a little bit.
I don't remember now.
I just know I think he was Southwest, maybe.
Oh, here he is. He can tell us. He's in Texas somewhere. Where are you at, buddy?
Where?
Well, yeah, I was trying to answer Mike's question, but as soon as I touch the phone, I hang up on you guys. So, I live near Dallas, north of Dallas.
Okay.
A little,
totally
a little town, but it's nothing little around here. Coppell, Texas is the name of it. And then I have a few bees here, and I'm trying to grow more down at the south of Corsicana. It's way out in the country. But I was about to comment that it must be something to do with the moisture, because I don't have a whole lot of trouble with hive beetles. I have a few, but it's so dry around, especially where my farm is this year. Just had a whole lot of issues with them. The most of the hive beetles I see are actually dead on the counting boards.
I was out in Houston a couple of years ago delivering some queens to a guy, and we went through some of his hives, and I didn't see any hive beetles on his stuff. And he was on the southwest side of Houston.
Yeah, that's a good bit more humidity in Houston than it is where I am.
Yeah, but it was still pretty dry compared to where we are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I grew up over in that, actually probably close to the area where Steve is. I grew up in northeast Louisiana in the Delta.
Mm.
So I know what, in that part of the world, you hang a towel up on the shower curtain and it doesn't dry out for about 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You can go to some parts of that delta and it look like somebody walking across the delta. It'd be so hot.
Well, in Texas, I mean, I've been out on the Panhandle, which is kind of like desert.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Kind of like desert, but what is the feed out here in that area where you have your bees? I mean, you have trees or
well,
they have tallow trees.
Yeah, there's mesquite trees out that way, but I have a lot of mesquite at my farm down south of Corsicana, but it's totally different in central in North Texas than it is in the Panhandle.
I got about 30 kinds of milkweed down there, don't you?
We have some milkweed. I drove up into the Panhandle by accident. I took a wrong turn heading out to Arizona. When I went up there, I said, looks like, when I looked around, I thought, Texas lost a bet to Oklahoma and had to take this land.
Pine trees and grass.
That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah, because I mean, we went through there and it was just flat and not really anything.
Did you go through some of those feedlots?
Yeah, we traveled Route 40, down through there, and you had the feedlots. You smelt them about 6 miles before you got there.
You had to roll up your window and put your car on.
Yeah, and then you had I don't know, maybe it was in Texas. They had like the big wheat fields and stuff like that. And
that probably might have been Kansas. Or
Kansas. It might have been Kansas.
Now, Philip, do you have any? What's your mix of pine trees there?
We don't have many pine trees where I am. You got to go east of here, East Texas.
Okay. I was flying into Houston once, and I looked down. And I'm like, well, where did all these pine trees in Texas come from? Because I'd only been down there about 4 times before that.
They probably have a few more pines in there. The part of Texas that I'm in is kind of what they call what do they call it? It was wooded, but it's a lot of old bur oak and You know, when the settlers came through, it was almost impossible to get through. It was
that thick.
It was so thick, yeah.
I think those pines over in Texas, maybe loblollies.
Probably.
I don't know. They're not. We have longleaf pine here, and they don't have any of those over there. We're in the Houston area anyway.
I think it's southern yellow pine. I think is that same thing as loblolly or not?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't believe so either.
These comments come up and disappear too fast for me to back up.
Oh, sorry.
Man, I know I trucked I-40 across Texas and thought I seen Texas until I trucked 20 and 10 across Texas, and then I got a real good Texas education. When you go down, I didn't think I was ever going to get across Texas. I was in Texas for like 2 days.
Yeah,
it's a long drive over there.
Longleaf pine. Is that anything similar to yellow pine, Lee? I'm wondering about. We've only had in 40 years we've only had 2 yellow pine trees come through the mill. So it's.
Loblolly is longleaf. Okay, I thought loblolly was the short spread out. Is it the black pine or something? I don't know. Anyway, the ones that I see over there are a little shorter and broader canopy.
Okay.
It seems.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Southern and loblolly are different according to Tim. You know, it's just like you can have regional differences in those regional names on stuff a lot of times.
There's a paragraph of common names for every one scientific name. You know, it depends on where you're standing.
My grandpa and I used to argue all the time about what the tree names were.
Well, over in West Louisiana and East Texas, they just call it all pulpwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. These pines over here are all 80, 90 foot tall, and you don't have any limbs in them for the first 30 to 40 feet. And a lot of the adult or the more mature trees. And when my wife first came down, she grew up in North Mississippi. And so when she first came down, I had her convinced that we trimmed all those limbs out. So the reason they didn't have it. That's why they didn't have any low limbs, because everybody on their property didn't like those low limbs. They got rid of them because they were dangerous.
Limbed them up.
According to Elizabeth, it takes a long time to drive through Texas with Randy.
It does.
You drive the speed limit, Randy, do you?
He takes
I just make a lot of U-turns.
I got you. You do a lot of stops and sightseeing.
I'm a sightseer. If I see something I want to look at,
we'll over and check it out, don't we?
He had some
sound like me.
He had some beautiful spots, and I was looking at that going, there's no way he just got that the first time. He's driving through, and then just a few minutes later in the video, she's like, we've made more U-turns than we've ever made.
Drives her nuts. I'm like, just go to sleep.
I'm gonna be a minute.
I really like that video you did about that the graveyard with the circus.
Oh, that was the same video. Yeah,
in there and all that was.
That was really interesting how the sound went out on your GoPro, just in the cemetery.
Yeah,
and some guy commented maybe it was your Bluetooth on your phone, you know, and which was pretty logical. But you said, yeah, but it was my GoPro. And so, you know, that's really interesting, Randy.
Hey, does, sir.
That cemetery was so neat. It was, and my wife likes to see that kind of stuff. I'm not into cemeteries, but that thing was impressive. You walk through there and see all the people that were circus performers or rodeo clowns or rodeo athletes or whatever, and pictures of a lot of them, and it was just kind of neat.
Interesting headstones it was.
Yeah, I mean the headstones had all them engravings, like that one. What was it? Had an elephant on the front of it. You know. I mean, you don't see that. That's very unusual.
And to go through and try to edit all that down, I took over 600 pictures on that trip, and to go through and try to pick out the best of that, it was tough. It took a while.
Yeah.
Probably in that line of business, the circus and the rodeo, there probably wasn't a lot of old people got buried there.
There were some older folks there. I mean, they survived the circus or whatever. just decided to settle down there, I guess. But the town was in rough shape. The roads were horrible. I couldn't believe the condition of the roads there. The cemetery was in better shape than anything in the rest of the town.
Wow.
Wow.
I was jealous because you got to go see Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead.
That was a cool stop. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I like his video. I will do.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to go see his wildlife log down in the woods.
Oh yeah.
What y'all call him? It ain't Jerome. What's he go by?
Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead.
Yeah.
No, his name. What you was calling him? It wasn't Jerome.
Darren.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured he was Jerome.
Darren Jerome.
Oh, his last name's Jerome.
That's his last name. Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny because that wildlife log on video, it looks like it's kind of on flat ground, but it's down in a real deep gulch.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, you can't. It'd be hard to climb up out of there if you went all the way down to it.
He gets more bobcat than anybody I ever seen. I mean,
there's Spanky. Look at him.
Yeah, Spanky, good to see you, brother. How you doing, man?
All right, I still got migraine.
Oh, you do? Well, I'm sorry, man. Hey, thanks for coming in, Spanky. We wanted Spanky to come in because we got a giveaway. He one of his 3D printed hives. Let me grab that real quick.
You probably dehydrated, Spanky.
Steve, I see the grapes behind you there.
Stick your face up to the camera and I'll check your moisture level.
Make sure you calibrate it first.
Oh, man.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming in tonight, man. And thank you, Randy, for coming on.
Randy,
Man. We appreciate your time, man.
When I come to the Gulf Coast, I'm gonna try to find you so I can come visit you. Would that be all right?
I ain't hard to find.
So you ain't hard to find. I have to somebody down there about you. The Dirt Rooster.
So Randy, are you really wanting to stay on here, or are you just trying to keep them getting back to stuffing boxes full of t-shirts?
I gotta finish filling this tank up and then get back to t-shirt folding and hat packing and
what do you got there? Cream? Is that a creamer back here, Randy?
Yeah.
That license?
Wow.
That's a license creamer attachment up top.
How do you like that creamer, Randy?
He loves it.
Okay. I've been looking at getting the licensed creamer, so I'm just really
we use it for a bottling tank more than anything, but he loves that creamer attachment. And then there's a big settling tank next to it that we use for a bottling tank as well.
Okay.
Both of them are jacketed and heated and everything.
I was about to ask you, was they heated?
Yeah, both of them are.
What's the temperature running on those?
Do you put it in water?
The temperature.
He had it set at 123 degrees, but I turned it down. I just didn't tell him.
Uh-oh.
It's probably on about 110 or 115 right now.
Oh, okay.
So he would, you can't leave it on 123 degrees forever and not cook your honey. And he'll get over here and turn it on with a tank full of honey, and then come back in 2 days, and the building smells like it's cooking.
Oh, I see.
So I turned it down on it, and I have to come check it pretty regular.
Gotcha.
So 110 is the kind of the sweet zone for that.
Well, it won't pasteurize it nearly as fast, and it won't 123 degrees especially if the tank's low. I guess it gets hotter than that, I think.
Yeah.
Because the thermostat's trying to keep up with the loss of temperature, and so I think when he gets the honey level down, I think it's getting even hotter than that. So I don't even know what the actual temperature of the honey's getting sometimes because I'll come in here sometimes and I can tell it's burnt. I'm like, well, that's all got to go in the trash, but keeps him busy, keeps him doing something.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. So
Bob made a really good video on heat and how high you can have it for how long and all that. That was really interesting.
Yeah, Bob put out a lot of stats about how long it takes to pasteurize at what temperatures.
Right.
And so when we store honey around here, if you ever dealt with tallow honey, it crystallizes pretty fast. So we can have 5 drums in here, and every one of them is going to be half crystallized by the time we get ready to bottle it. So we got to strap the drums
I'll be right back, guys.
Put heating straps on the drums to warm it up enough to pump it into a bottling tank to liquefy it again. And
now, Randy, when you pump out of your 55-gallon drums, is that already strained and ready to be bottled, or is just you do all that before you put it in the drum?
no, it goes straight into drums from an extractor, and then it goes straight into bottling tank, and we'll strain it as we pump it into the tank unless it's heavily crystallized, and then we'll just scoop off the top, because most of any of the trash, which is not going to be much, but most anything's going to float to the top.
Right. What's the smallest micro you use?
Smallest what?
Micro.
Filter.
Micron? 400.
400.
Yeah. Okay. When we're just transferring, it's usually a 600 micron screen.
Okay, gotcha.
Mark.
All right. Hey, cool, man. Good to see you, brother. We maxed out the screen, man. That's awesome.
These I'm not sure how many microns these paint strainers are, but we use a lot of these.
Oh, I use a lot of paint strainers too.
That's a
my first thing when I'm coming out of the extractor, that's what I push in the 5-gallon bucket, and once the 5-gallon bucket get full, I just pull the whole strainer bag out.
Yeah, 5-gallon strainer. They're probably 600 or 800 microns if I had to guess, but we use a lot of those.
Okay.
Hey, there we are. Okay, cool. Well, we're back to 10 again. Mark, how you doing, buddy? You on the road? You up in Missouri? You're up in Missouri, I bet.
I'm about to freeze to death up here.
Well, how cold is it?
-9.
-9. Man.
You keep that up there where you at.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I got on 2 pairs of insulated pantyhose and I'm still freezing.
He's going to bring. What was that, Spanky?
It's got a hole in the name. There's your problem.
It's got a hole.
Yeah, he's going to bring that cold weather back to Tennessee with him, I bet you.
Oh, man. Mark, where are you right now?
I'm just right outside of Hannibal, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, I've been playing around in the snow and ice all day. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, your weather's down here drunk in my yard. You need to come get it and take it home.
You know, I deeply apologize. I'll see if I can dig up a couple of the dead polar bears, revive them, and send them your way.
Any of y'all hear about the guy up in North Carolina that got hit by the bear that destroyed all his hives?
What?
No, I ain't heard about it.
Because I got it sent to me from one of my friends that used to live up there in North Carolina. He said it did like $10,000 worth. Oh Lord, the phone just went dead.
Oh, we just had a little feedback here for a sec.
Bear hit the hives and done $10,000 worth of damage. That's pretty devastating, ain't it?
Yeah. I've got a friend that I'm getting a lot of feedback here now.
Hang on a sec. I'm trying to isolate. What about now? Test? Oh, we still got it.
I don't know what's happening.
Test.
That's working for me now.
Okay, it was coming from Mr. Horton.
Was it? I got a friend in Louisiana, and he's keeping bees, but he has to put them in old cotton trailers or put an electric fence around them. Well, the beggars had to climb on the cotton trailers to get to the hive. But now he has to put them behind electric fences. He's in that northeast Louisiana where I grew up. And I think that's some problem with black bears where he lives. I don't know.
Who was it? FREDERICK Dunn or somebody said them bears learned. I was watching a video or something.
Yeah.
He
was talking about that. He scares them off with sound.
The bangers.
Yeah, light and sound. Yeah. He got them from Amazon. I thought that was real interesting. He hadn't used electric fences in quite a while, I believe I recall him saying.
They know that the box that charges the fence makes a ticking noise, and if it's outside the fence, they'll tear it up.
They eventually go over and mess with it till it doesn't work anymore, and then they just go right on in. Yeah, interesting.
I've been planning to send that device spread with promoting to my friend to say, hey, try this out. Maybe it'll keep him happy to
Yeah.
They're climbing into the cotton trailers, and I don't know if you guys know what cotton trailers are, but they're like big cages.
Yeah, yeah.
Like expanded.
My granddaddy used to keep hogs in them.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably, the walls on them are probably 10 foot tall, and that's like 3-4 feet off the ground. So they're climbing over that and getting into it. They figured
Now,
that out.
what do they do once they get in there, Philip?
What's that?
What do they do once they get in there?
They tear up the hives and eat everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize there were hives in there. Sorry.
Yeah, he said to keep beehives there. He keeps them in the old cotton trailers. Nobody uses cotton trailers anymore. They do. Is that me or somebody else?
It was isolated it to Earl. Let me turn him back on, see if it's cleared up. How about now? Test. Cool.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Hear you good,
It was
buddy.
messed up, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was feedback on us.
All right, my phone died on me, y'all.
Hey, good to see you back, buddy.
Yeah, it was feedback on us.
Hey, we gotta stop
All
that.
right, my phone died on me, y'all.
He's got to turn the turkeys.
Hey, have you got YouTube on still, Mr. Horton? Could you mute that maybe?
He's got to turn the
Hey, have you got YouTube on?
I got too many on. That's what I got.
There you go. It's hard to remember that, man. I got to learn it every time. Uh-oh. Oh, there he goes. Well, he'll get it.
He turned the wrong thing off.
Yeah. He'll be back.
Wrong.
Hey, look, everybody. While we're waiting on Mr. Horton to come back, check out this beautiful 3D printed hive that Spanky, Larry Milam, made. And
that's cool. Blow yourself up there, John.
It's really nice. Yeah, good idea, Houston. Let me make this full screen. Let's see here. He's autographed it. It's got frames in it. Now these are almost like a laying size frames. And let's see, I'm having a hard time getting them out. He's got them in here so good and tight. But check this out. Check out the detail on these.
No kidding.
On these frames. Let me see if I can get it to focus. And he's also got a divider board in here because, as you can see, this hive is really a double hive. It's like a double hive. It's got an entrance on both sides with a divider board in the middle.
No kidding.
And yeah, Houston did a segment on the Ukrainian style hives several weeks ago on one of our Hillbilly Hive lives, and it inspired Spanky to make a version of that, and he sent it to me so we could give it away on the show. So we're going to do that tonight. And what I'm going to try to do here is y'all go ahead and talk and everything. It'll take me a minute to pull this, to pull this up where I can get people to comment and have a chance on winning it.
I mean, those things has got some amazing detail, man. They're really cool. That one he made me, I got the little entrance reducer out, and it looked like wood, and he had done things to it to make it look like wood. I don't even know what he done. It was just amazing detail, every piece of it. It's pretty cool.
How'd you get into building models, Spank?
Well, I do a lot of CAD stuff. I've been doing that since high school.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they was giving us the freshman tour style. It went, no, that's what I want to do.
Huh. That is really neat.
Hey, Spanky, what program do you use?
Inventor.
Inventor. I haven't heard of that one.
I took drafting in high school and in junior college, and that was when they were just starting to use CAD. And I never got into using CAD, so we hand drew everything.
Yeah, I took drafting, the mechanical side of it, architecture, all that.
That's what Philip does. He's architect.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
Quick,
yeah. Let me make Houston solo here so he can show you some of Spanky's work that he's in Houston. I mean, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
very nice, Spanky.
And it's very detailed too, guys. I mean, he went right through it, right even to the communication holes in the corners of the frames.
Is that a right cell?
It looks like it, man.
Triple waxed, yeah.
You put the detail on, man.
Yeah.
Even the division board.
Wow.
And then also too, this drawing you can see behind me on the wall. That was a drawing that Spanky made. That's just beautiful, amazing quality.
Yep. Absolutely have an appreciation for that. I do a little bit of modeling, but I can't do that detail. All right. At least I can't get somebody to pay me to do that.
I hear you. Spanky does it and gives it away.
All right, folks. Hey, we got 31 folks in here. Let me see if I can share this. Let me see if I can share the screen here with the giveaway tool. And everybody, Spanky's site is the Filament Corner. I'm sure y'all already know. It's called the Filament Corner. And
we do have Hillbilly in front of all this, though.
Yeah, the guy that I took he gave out his dimensions. I'm gonna put his channel in the chat because he has a YouTube channel that he does the Ukrainian beekeeping. I don't know if he's in Ukraine or Russia. I'm not sure where he's at, but I'm gonna put his YouTube in the chat after the contest.
Yeah, awesome.
Go and look at the actual hives and how he does it.
Yeah, it sounds great. And as you can see, I've shared the screen there. #Filament. #Filament. Put that in the comments, and we'll have the drawing here in just a few minutes. Awesome. And then also too, it's going to be a prize pack. It's not just the hive that Spanky built. It's also some soap from Soaps and Suds and Such. Spanky's mom, Miss Spring, has an Etsy channel, and they also sent some soaps to give away.
It's awesome stuff,
and a lot of great reviews on their site for their soaps. Spanky does hot honey as well, and they sell that on their Etsy store. But yeah, check out Houston's nucleus colony there. Now, Spanky puts like these little what do you call them, Spanky, to hold it all together where it holds together so good.
Oh, you mean the little nails?
Yeah.
Look at that. Get out of here.
And they just stack and lock in.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's not
Even,
good for giving it to a little kid, but I mean, I'm not giving it to a little kid.
I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like a big kid when I was opening it, man.
You never seen how many times I stabbed myself playing with mine, did you?
Yeah, look at that. Be careful, Houston. You're going to spill it, buddy. Be careful.
You gotta be kidding. What great detail.
I mean, he really thought of everything. And the inner covers are, just like what we use,
Yeah,
no doubt.
Really awesome. Really
a lot
awesome.
of detail. He did some painting work on it and everything. So Spanky, thank you so much, buddy. Hey, one of y'all got one of the Christmas cards he sent us? Hey, check that out, man.
This hexagon hive is awesome.
Yeah, that's a cathedral hive right there.
Look at that.
Love it.
Yeah. Houston talks about different kinds of hives all the time, and it's real interesting. And so Spanky's been making one of about everything that we talked about.
Any of y'all ever run the cathedral hive?
I have
not. No.
I found one in the woods half rotten at a guy's house when I went to pick up some nukes one time, and
bees.
There was nothing in it. It was just an old rotten. I thought it was an old top bar hive, and I opened it up, and that's what it was. But it was falling apart. I brought it home. Was going to try to rebuild it, and I ended up throwing it in the garbage.
They've been around a little longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Any kind of advantage you can think of for that particular design?
Fun.
Just kind of cool.
Yeah.
To me, they're like like a top bar hive on the bottom, and then just inverted on the top. The frames are built kind of like the bottom top bar is, only it's inverted on the top.
They make the claim that that frame has advantages. They claim that it's got 3 points of attachment, so the comb's stronger. I don't know if that's true or not, but
interesting.
That's the kind of claims they make for it.
All right, folks, we're gonna give y'all just another minute or two here to enter. We've got looks like 19 entries so far, and I'm seeing we got 34 people in the chat. So don't miss out. Hashtag Filament to have a chance of winning this beautiful hive that Spanky made, and also some soaps.
I know.
So, Spanky, do you have any trouble with hive beetles in your models?
In the models, no. I mean, I could put.
I had to ask.
They're so tiny you can't even see them, Mike.
I know I saw James in the chat earlier. He was wanting a Varroa mite. I've got it made. I just got to send it off.
Neat.
That's awesome.
There he is in the chat. I got to send that off to him. I got his address.
All right, folks. We're gonna go ahead and do this drawing. So, hey, good luck everybody that's entered, and let's see. I hope I can get this to work right. Who's it going to be? I saw me. Charlie went by twice there.
Have it right there. Graham's
Bees, Jody. All right.
Congratulations.
Oh,
fantastic.
Congratulations.
Hey, congratulations there. That's awesome. Please email me, TennesseeMountainBees@gmail.com, and I'll get your contact information. We'll make sure to get this prize back out to you as soon as possible.
That's right.
Awesome.
TennesseeMountainBees.com.
Thank you.
Oh, a smoker too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. We've got
out in here.
Yeah, a bunch of heat and
It took the
Spanky's.
lid off. Magnets. It's awesome.
Really cool.
Yeah. He needs a little diesel fuel sticker, don't he, Randy? To put on the back side.
Yeah. It's too cool. He done really awesome with all this.
Yeah, he did, man. What you got there, Spank?
Little two framers. That's what I've been working on.
Okay.
So what did you do to get the Spanky? What'd you do to get the cover silver?
Full tape.
Okay.
Full tape. What worked?
He's slick now.
He's slick, man. It's simple.
Yeah.
I could get you a job at the Model Railroad Museum down here.
Boy, he could. He could, couldn't he?
Keep him busy that way.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, Philip, looks like you got a visitor, buddy.
Yeah, dude. This is my son, Jared. He's home from college.
Awesome, Jared. How you doing, brother?
Hello, Jared.
Hello.
What are you studying, young man?
No, sir.
I didn't hear what.
Okay. It's nursing. He said nursing.
Okay, awesome, man. What an awesome field.
We're begging for him right now. Can't get enough. So short-handed. My wife talks about just there ain't enough people, and they just work them to death. And they're thinking about doing the thing some hospitals have, where, like, if somebody don't show up, then they have to stay there until somebody does, kind of deal. It's so it's a much needed field, man. Good on you for wanting to serve.
Yeah, it is.
He's the only one I can get to go out into the bees with me. The other two are terrified of him.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, it kind of grows on you, I think.
There's only certain people who put with the bees.
Yeah, maybe get them suited up where they can get their confidence, and then.
When I first got bees, I thought people was going to aggravate me to death, want to come see bees, want to learn how to do bees. Nobody wants to do bees as much as you think they do. We're an odd bunch. We really are.
I think they just
found a place where we can get together.
I think they just want the honey, Earl. They just want the honey in there.
Yeah.
You know, my mother shows up in a few of my videos. She's 87, and she probably bees. They don't bother her a bit. She walks right into them. She doesn't care.
My mom, she's early 70s. She gets out there and gets in them 2 hives down there at her place and has a ball with me doing that stuff. So that's a big part of it right there. Just, family involvement, good times, memories. That's my biggest memories of my papa was with the bees.
Really?
We done things totally different back then, but I remember being 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, sitting with Papa. Oh, yeah, we had a big wash tub. Whenever they took the honey out, you just cut it out of the frame, and it's in that wash tub. And then the women was there with jars, and they was putting it in jars and cramming comb in jars. And they'll put it on the table, and you're a little kid going, "No, I don't want none." There's like bees in it and legs, and you're sitting there. I don't know about all this. Can you get the bees in the comb out of it? I was one of them kids.
Yeah, Earl tells some great stories about his grandpa, how he taught him how to stay calm around the bees so they wouldn't sting him. And he was about to get a whipping one time, and his mom wouldn't go down there. He hid by the bee.
Mom couldn't get near the bees, only I could, and Papa and Dad when he got off work.
He wasn't afraid of the bees, was he? He came on down.
Dad just dragged it right out there with a switch. Dad had this cool move. He could like unlatch a belt and whip it out in one day. It's like, whoa.
I remember that sound, buddy. You know, anybody our age has heard that sound.
You ain't been abused till you've run that wet and then switching to the belt circle. If you ain't never done that, then you're deprived.
Yeah, cool, man.
We didn't get the belt. My dad used to take me and my brothers to the hardware store, and he'd buy a handful of wooden dowels, and when he broke those, he'd take us back to buy some more.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you some big old boys though. He had to have some leverage.
Yeah, he'd buy. Yeah, that's a small one. He'd buy bigger ones than that.
Wow.
He'd take us with him to buy them
just as an incentive to you know.
My papa, my mom's side was crippled.
Make us hold them while he paid for them.
If you couldn't get to you, he'd throw a coffee cup at you.
Yeah, you tell some great stories, and seem to have a lot of fondness of your childhood with your brother. You know, riding bikes and stuff, and growing up together. That's pretty cool. I'd like to see you guys do in more videos together. It's always cool to see your brother much. Does he not want to come on, or just it doesn't work out? Or?
He does. He's just so busy. He's running a couple businesses, and we live a little over an hour apart.
An insurance company owner, and several things, and does contract, and he does a lot of stuff, don't he?
Yeah, he's got. Well, he's not a contractor, but he was talking about getting his contractor's license, and I talked him. I think I talked him out of it, but he's got two insurance agencies, and
wow.
he's just bought a building that one of his offices is in, and it's a 2-story, probably 120 foot long by about 50 foot wide, double decker, and one end of it's offices, and the other end of it he's going to turn into an antique store. So he's building that out right now for an antique store because he ain't got enough to do.
He needs something to occupy his time. That's wild, man. Good.
I like that video, Randy, where y'all almost caught the woods on fire. So
What happened?
Got a lot more the woods on fire.
That's happened more than once.
You just don't get it on. You don't get it on video every. You don't get it on video every time, do you?
No, you can't. It's hard because you want the camera rolling all the time, but you can't get nothing done if you're trying to video everything.
Yeah. That's in court either.
One of the funniest things that I and nobody got it on video, of course, but it's a commercial bee yard, commercial beekeeper caught his veil on fire.
Oh man!
And he wasn't hurt. He got it off, but I saw his veil. It was all melted. How in the world did you catch your veil on fire while it's on your head?
Oh my God! Just got too close to his flame while he was lighting his smoker, I guess.
Yeah, I guess probably puffing the bellows and blowing a flame. And just...
Oh yeah, that's probably what happened.
Got that cotton on fire and it wouldn't quit.
Ruined his bee suit.
In the mess, but I've never even thought of it catching on fire.
Yeah, fella needs to be careful. I can see that happening because those flames will shoot out of that smoker, man.
Now, Tommy, my brother, has I don't think he's coming to Hive Life, so this ain't, or I would say y'all could pick on him about it. But he's hairy. He's hairy all over. Like, I got a full head of hair. He's front to back, chest and back. He's like a grizzly. And when your smoker gets low on fuel, if you puff it, it's blowing flames out the end of it. He was getting kind of tore up working bees one time, and he pulls his shirt up and stuck his smoker under it to puffed some smoke on himself to kind of get the bees off of him, and it burned
No
his hair
way.
off.
That hurts.
Smell of hair is all you had.
Oh,
But he kept the bees off of him.
Oh,
Yes, it did.
fish and smoke.
Earl, it smelled like you were singing that.
It smelled like burnt hair instead of bee venom.
That sounds like a time me and my brother was shooting fireworks and we had coveralls on and he had them stuck in his pockets. We was lighting them and letting them go. And he lit one right back to throw it and it shot down his pocket. And then his whole pocket full. They was shooting out of every hole. He was turning them coveralls off and dancing. I could not help him for laughing. And thank God they didn't have cell phones back in. I would have had him.
That would have been a viral video, man. What a fireworks show.
Oh, why didn't you help me? I couldn't do nothing. I was paralyzed in laughter.
Yeah.
I was crying. He done the craziest dancing. You should have seen it. He had little blisters all over him.
Giving away viral video tips here, guys.
Yeah, no doubt. You just gotta get the right video, don't you?
That's the kind of stuff I
don't
want to
do this at home.
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff I want to catch. We did a cutout 3 days ago, and Pete was getting out. We was on a lift, and Pete was getting out of the lift and fell out all over the ground.
Oh, man. No camera.
Is he all right?
He didn't get hurt, but he got up and I said, "Crap! I didn't have the camera running." He said, "Oh, thank God." I didn't think to ask if he was okay. I just said, "Crap! I didn't have the camera running."
I'd say he's a blast to work with.
Yeah, he seems like it, man.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that said if you ever want to find out if you're old, you just fall on the ground. If they come over and laugh at you, you're not old. But if they want to help you and see if you're all right, you're old.
Yeah.
Never thought of that. That makes perfect sense, Philip.
The truth is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I must not be old yet. I still get laughed at.
Man, it's been an awesome chat, guys.
Yeah, it has. It sure has. And hey, fellas, we hadn't shared one of Fred's pictures while we got everybody here. Let's share one of Fred's pictures and everybody talk about it. Have y'all still got time? Everybody's here.
Well, yeah, I do.
Awesome. Hang on. All right, here we go.
I'll talk for you if you don't talk.
Oh, neat.
All right, check it out. This is FREDERICK DUNN Bee Flight is the name of this one. And let me zoom in here. Check out the detail on her.
That is pretty.
It's incredible.
Look, she got her proboscis out.
What was that? What was that, Charlie?
She's got her proboscis out in her tongue.
Yep. Is she tasting the air?
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it looks
She's
like it's got a
preparing to
little,
hit that flower like a hummingbird, you reckon?
it's like it's got a little drip of nectar on it or something, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a young bee.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
hairy.
you can see the long hair, can't you?
Yeah.
Ain't got no tires in the wings, nice and shiny and beautiful, lustrous.
Yeah.
She just left some of that clover, looks like.
Dang Fred and his Nikon.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, man, he's good at it.
I told him, I said, I can put my bifocals on, get a magnifying glass out, can't see them as good as I can looking at his pictures.
Yeah, that's true, man. It's awesome photography.
Yeah.
It was so kind of him to share these pictures with us because I think folks really enjoy them.
Those other legs tucked up, that one tucked up, that back leg with that pollen on it.
Yeah. She's got quite a bit of pollen, don't she?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Pretty good load, man.
I sent him one of my pictures the other day from out on Biloxi Beach. It was a really cool picture of a crane And I said, "Look out, Fred Dunn." I sent it to him on Messenger. He just replied back like, "It's okay."
classic Fred, man. That's awesome.
Man, your photos, Randy, are really looking better and better, man. I have to say that.
I love those old places. I keep wanting to say,
Yeah.
come up here, man. You won't walk every 2 foot. You take a picture of some of these old coal mine towns.
Yeah,
I
you
love
would.
playing with it. Yeah,
Good
Fred's
deal.
like, "Yeah, you keep trying, boy."
Yeah, you're
You're doing all right, Grasshopper.
Yeah, it's almost time to walk on the rice paper, huh, Grasshopper?
Yeah.
Guys, I got to run here too. So, y'all. Okay.
Thanks for
Hey,
coming
all
on,
right,
man.
Mike.
Appreciate
Always good
you,
to
man.
see you, brother, man. Hey, stay warm, dude. See you, buddy.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
See you, Mike.
Good to see you, Mike.
I admire you for just sending Fred a picture. I'd be so intimidated.
I send him all kinds of stuff. He don't care.
Yeah.
It's, you know, hey, Randy, when they had Fred on and they asked people to jump on, nobody would. And I was the same way. I'm like, I'm just too, I can't.
No, how'd you like to be nice interviewing him? I was scared to death. I'm like, this guy's going to make me. I'm going to just do something stupid.
That was probably about as nervous as Earl and I had been, I guess, with a special
I
guest.
guarantee you, I don't get nervous, and I was nervous.
You know, Randy makes everybody feel at ease, man. He's he's one of the biggest YouTubers, but
That's what they told me. I done me. I didn't even know you was coming on tonight. He told me, he's like, Randy's coming on tonight, and I was like, awesome, that's great. He ain't that bad because he's hillbilly, kind of like us. He's all right. I won't be as worried with him because I can kind of be myself. But I felt like Craig had the genius scope out, was eyeballing everybody, waiting on you to be wrong on something.
No, he ain't that way, man.
No, he's not. But he likes to kid around. He likes to kid around, and
he actually texted me and said that he had an absolute blast. He said it was amazing fun.
He's super nice. What I've been doing lately, guys, is I've been having to drive back and forth to Louisiana, and just a couple of days ago I had to go to Mississippi. I've been putting Fred's old frequently asked questions on. I started number 1 and just played them.
Oh, they're awesome, aren't they?
They're great.
It's like an encyclopedia, man.
Yeah, they are.
Fred was a little bit, he wasn't as cool as he is now back then, but he still, but what I like to see is the things that Fred talks about.
He's also first chair trumpet player in the band.
Well, a lot of stuff that he said back then, he's kind of changed,
Yeah. Well, you sort of change, don't you, over time? You sort of grow.
Everybody.
Oh yeah, everybody likes to say, "Look at all that stuff Fred can just reach and grab it." I remember when he started, he wasn't reaching and grabbing anything. He had one eye behind him.
It takes a while. Is Randy? You've been doing it what, 11, 12 years now? 11?
12 years. This spring will be 13.
Okay,
You're one of the big vets.
Yeah, man.
Long time.
You talking about YouTube or beekeeping?
Well, not both. I meant,
beekeeping.
We was talking about YouTube, I think, wasn't we?
Yeah, YouTube is what I meant.
Oh, YouTube's been 9 something, 9.5 maybe.
Okay. Well, how was it? Describe what it felt like. You going to Hive Life, 100,000 subscribers, and everybody there knows you. And I mean, does that? How do you deal with it?
The first Hive Life was more nerve wracking than the second one, and the first one was only 230 people there, and I'm used to. I'm more well known. It seems further away from home. Around here, I can go to a local bee club, and 20 people there, maybe half of them know me, and that's only because they've done business with us.
yeah, okay.
But they watch the channel too. But when we went to the first one, it was 230 people registered, and a couple people had contacted me and was like, you got a big following up here, and I was like, you're making me nervous because I'm not a front of the classroom kind of guy. I want to sit in the back and just coach,
Listen, yeah.
You want to paper walk them without them knowing.
So me and Tommy, I rented the car. I rented. I don't know if y'all saw the video, but it was a tiny little BMW. But
that little car, yeah.
Yeah, but I had tried to rent a full size car, and they upgraded me to this little midget car.
Upgraded.
Pedals this close together.
Yeah, so I already felt out of place showing up at a beekeeping conference in a BMW. But when we got there, the line for the sign up was out front of the building, and you come around the side of the building and loop around the front, so you don't see the line until you see it, till you're there. So we were late getting there as usual, and we ride around the front of the building, and there's a line of 100 people standing out there looking at us, cell phones coming out, people pointing, and me and Tom were just like, I was like, just don't look at him. Just don't look at him. So we're just looking at each other, laughing, cutting up, like just don't even acknowledge him. And then
close your eyes, I can't see.
And then so, you know, once we got in there and got talking to people, I was a little more calm. But a lot of people had asked me to bring hats and stuff, and we brought a bunch of hats, and Tommy kept asking me, "You gonna bring hats in?" I was like, you know, I kind of feel, I don't know, because we hadn't sold a lot of hats at that point. I felt kind of presumptuous. I'm like, yeah, dude, we got the coolest hats. Come on. I didn't want to be that guy. So
you really do.
So I left the hats in the car, and once we got inside, I had 2 different people come up to me and go, "Hey, did you bring those hats?" I'm like, "Yeah, I brought them. You know, I'll get them later or whatever." So another guy comes up and goes, "Hey, you bring hats?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's walk out to the car and we'll grab one out of the car real quick." Well, a couple of people heard us, and then a couple more people heard that we were going to the car. So now we're dealing hats out of the trunk in the parking lot. And this couple of older ladies pull up and roll the window down. "What are y'all doing over here?" And so we just slinging illegal merchandise out the trunk. "Oh, that's great."
Take 2.
So we're starting to get a crowd out there. I say, y'all just y'all help me and we'll carry this stuff inside. So we went and set up at a table inside after lunch and sold a bunch of hats, and so it was fun. But I didn't know how to, you know, I've been to conferences before, and the first big conference that I thought probably I might get some recognition was the Louisiana conference, and we walked in the door. The first person that I saw coming in the door recognized me. She walked by me and she goes, "Hey, JP."
Pretty close.
You know, they'll call you Earl at Hive Life.
I said, "Hey," I just kept walking. I didn't even correct her.
Yeah,
didn't correct her.
That JP boy, he's a nice guy.
Wow.
Yeah, JP,
man, it's been awesome having you on, Randy.
JP is hard to get to know, I tell you what.
You stop doing Dirt Rooster and just put the initials DR, and we'll start calling you Doctor.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. But JP, you mentioned he's hard to get to know. Now Mr. Ed said he's been doing a lot of welding lately and hadn't been doing a lot of beekeeping videos.
He's been doing a lot of cutouts still, but he hasn't been doing any videos on any of it. So I've been talking to him like, you know, you giving it up? I'm just kind of taking a break. I'll get back to it. Yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to see him again, but
yeah,
he just got burnt out on it.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's we talk about
that. Yeah,
we understand that. We talk about, you know, taking breaks all the time, and so
everything has an end to it, and so I don't know if that's the end of JP's YouTubing, but I still stay in touch with him.
Yeah,
man, nobody is forever.
He didn't when I first reached out to him, I didn't know this until later, but he didn't like me, didn't want to talk to me. You know, I talk to anybody. I don't care if you like me or not. I'll still talk to you. I ain't scared.
Yeah.
So I was like, so when I first reached out to him was when it was about the time that I met Mr. Ed, because I was just trying to find somebody around here to collaborate with. And so, you know, I found out later on he was just like, "What do you trying to get my action? What do you even want?" And I'm like, I'm not trying to get nothing from you. I didn't even know you was a YouTube channel when I started mine.
Getting crowded in here.
Yeah, so when we finally did get together, and he's like, you know, this guy's kind of cool, I guess. So now we've become pretty good friends.
Awesome.
It took a while. I'm telling you, it took a while.
Yeah. So you're not You're not getting into welding now, are you, Randy?
Even Yappy and JP were good friends, and Yappy will tell you when Yappy first started seeing me, he's like, "That dude's an idiot." No, I could weld long before when JP was strikers, I could weld.
So he's got
the stinger in my hand.
So JP's cutting in on your action is the way it's going. Dude.
Yeah, when I was 10 years old, I was welding on an old Miller stick welder. They would shock the fool out of you if you hit it wrong.
One of them red ones.
Yes, sir.
You plugged into the wall.
No, this thing was the size of a minivan, stood up on end.
Oh, here's a big blue one.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Yeah. Hey, well, fellas, we went over 2 hours tonight. We always try to keep it under 2, but it's with these high level guests on here, I hate to cut it short, fellas.
I hear you, man. It's hard.
Charlie, you're keeping us.
What's that, Manny?
Charlie, they're talking about you, Charlie.
Yeah.
High level guest, Charlie. You're keeping us on later.
No, he is. We hadn't seen Charlie in a while. Charlie, so glad you came in, buddy. I guess we got to get Dirt Rooster somebody on here to get Charlie to come back.
Well, no, I've been busy.
No, I'm just kidding, man.
Stuff like that, and all. I'll be seeing Randy down at Hive Life here in a couple of weeks, and especially want to see his dad. I enjoy talking to his dad.
Yeah, he's a jewel, man. He is.
He was a really great guy to meet this past January. Hopefully everything will, be okay for him to be able to make the trip.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So, no, it's been pretty good here. I mean, as far as I was like, you're talking about your honey tank, I just filled mine up, put about 160 pounds of honey in it, and it was getting low, and Christmas sales were pretty good this week so far. So I think I sold 40 some pounds or something like that so far this week. So that's
nice,
for me, that's pretty decent.
It's a good one.
That is good.
So that's not too bad. But this year I got a Maxant bottling tank, and it's really.
Oh, I bet you're loving that.
Oh man, I tell you, I mean, humping those 5-gallon buckets up the staircase out of a hot box to the kitchen, and all I got to do is go out on the back porch, and I keep it between 92 and 98 degrees, something like that. It thermoregulates and
flows real good.
Yeah, I can just go out there anytime and bottle up my, different size bottles in a few minutes, and I'm done. And it really, really saves me a lot of time and a lot of, if I lift a lot, my shoulders get to aching pretty bad. But other than that, it's been pretty decent here. It's rained all day today here. It's supposed to get sleet and ice tomorrow, and then over the weekend it's supposed to be in the 20s. So hopefully the bees are doing pretty good. So
yeah,
read you my 5 degrees tonight.
Yeah, it's right now. It is, I think, around 50. It's supposed to be like in the 50. Yeah, it's 50 degrees right now. It's going to get warm at night because the air is blowing up from Randy's house, and that's what they're telling me, on the news. And then when this here Arctic blast comes from the west in, is when everything's going to take a nosedive for the next couple days. I'm hoping and praying that come January the 2nd, I think I'm leaving on a Tuesday to drive down to a Hive Life, and then I kind of make a vacation out of it. And Wednesday I'll be there just, checking the sites out, and I was there this January. I think Wednesday was like 50 some degrees. It was comfortable, very nice. And so that's what I'm planning on doing. And then I'm glad it came and has, expanded it on Thursday evening. I would like to see it go.
I got to run, guys.
See
you,
Earl.
See you, Earl.
God bless. It's been great. God bless y'all. God bless your bees.
Yeah.
Later on, bro.
But it's the biggest and best, hive, bee conference there is that I've been to.
That was so awesome to hear that, Charlie. I heard several people say that last year. That was my first one ever, and it was so cool to hear the veterans say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll compare. I went up to EAS, Eastern Apiculture Society. They had one up in New York State this year, and I was going to go to that. And people talk about the price. I mean, I guess because it's January, also the motel rooms are reasonable. Up in New York, it was $250 to $300 a night to be able to stay up there, and I'm like, forget it. And they had this week-long thing, and it was $325 a head or $335 a head. And I looked at all the classes, I guess you would call them, and I'm like, well, I could teach half of this stuff, and it's like it wasn't worth the money to spend. I went up to New York, and we did other things as tourism type stuff, and I actually went up to Cutout bee farm. Randy, that tractor and trailer I had made that video of.
That was a good video.
With 1,500 nukes or whatever on there. I went up to that guy's place up in New York State and did a video. And he had he was having EAS come over there that evening. He invited me to stay to take pictures and all, but it was like 100 miles to the next place where we're staying that night. And I wasn't real sure about how to get there. And but it was a neat place. You had a 5-frame nuke extraction line and a 10-frame extraction line, and he had like 2 huge heating bays, and I'm talking they were like 60 feet long, to put your honey in there to heat them up before you extract. And it was a big operation, really big. Yeah. And he has the other place down there next to Bob's place. He's about an hour away from Bob Walker's place. That's his nuke yard, and that's where he raises all the queens and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And I'll be going back down to Hardeman's here probably the week of Easter. It's when we usually go down and pick up a truckload of bees.
Charlie, what variety of bees?
Traveling man.
What's that?
What variety of bees do they run?
Hardeman's is usually, they run Italians most of the time, and they also have Russians. Yeah. There, Russians are a couple bucks more, and all. I don't know. He sold me some Russians, and I needed some Italians while I was there, because I had sold a bunch of nukes before I went down there, and I needed something when I got back. And my experience with Russian is that they have a totally different characteristic over Italian. When food is short, they stop laying. You swear you think the queen's gone, but it isn't. And they have a smaller cluster, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just not used to that type of a bee. And then with Cutout, they're more of a Carniolan Italian mix, I believe. They're kind of a black bee, and I'm used to them. I mean, and they're nice big bees. I graft off a lot of them. I use them as my grafting when I do grafts and stuff and all. But right now, I mean, I don't know. It's I got about 30 hives. I got like 20 some nukes and a dozen honey hives, and that's enough for me. And then I get into grafting in the middle of the summer, and there's another 20 or 30 2-frame mating boxes. And so this year, my biggest thing, I've been talking, I belong to a bunch of bee clubs, and I'm also the president of my local club, and for the last 4 years. And I talked to these other guys who graft and stuff. So I'm going to go, I was selling cells, and I had some really good luck of just using virgin queens and letting them walk in, into the mating boxes and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just start selling virgins and mated queens. And that alleviates this stuff. Well, they were duds, and I'm like, no, they weren't. There's your queen right there in front of you. And if they know how to put them in. So that's my new endeavor, is to just start really, introducing virgins to my own mating boxes. And that alleviates that question. Did that cell hatch? And then you don't have to disturb them. and you go back in a week or two, and then she should be laying by that time if everything goes well weather-wise. So that's something new that I want to experiment with. And I really enjoy grafting. I think that's a lot of fun in beekeeping because I tell people it's like playing a game. It's between you and the bees. And if you get 90% of a success rate, then you win the game. You know, and
that's an A.
If it's 50% or less, you lost. You know, we don't like you. You know, or your skills are no good.
50% would be great for me. I was wondering, Charlie, I mean, you obviously have a market for those, but it seems like anybody that's successful at grafting, all of a sudden they've got a whole lot of extra cells on their hand. What do you do with all of them? You know?
I don't, you know, if you're in a bee club or whatever, and they find out about that you have nukes for sale or queens for sale, you don't have to advertise. I mean, it's like, they're calling you up months in advance. Put me down. You know, they want the local stock.
Well, I'm of the YouTube generation. I started, about 3 years ago watching videos and decided to get bees. And I've never been I've got a few friends in town that we have our little chat group. Text group.
Well, the club, bee clubs are.
I've never been to a club.
There's variations as far as what you can get out of a bee club, but you do have people around you, and you can have somebody you can call them and say, hey, you got an extra queen or something, or can I borrow something and stuff like that. And then like I try to run my club a bee club is for the beekeepers in the club, and it's supposed to be for their benefit. So in our county, we have had some grant money from the agricultural department we were able to get up until here in the last year. And we would subsidize up to 50% of their Varroa mite treatments of members in the club, which is, I mean, I bought $600 worth of Varroa mite treatments this year, and I paid $400, because the club paid the rest. Now we're not getting the grants like we did, so we might not be able to do that kind of stuff. But I believe that we should help our own members and everything. And we try to buy bulk. Let's say glassware, plastic bottles. Try to buy bulk to get a better price for our club members. Woodenware is the same thing. Try to buy a lot of it to get a discount, and that kind of thing. That's the benefits of a club. And I mean, if you don't, I mean, we
How much are dues, Charlie?
Dues, I just raised them. They're $20.
$20 a year.
$20 a year. You're gonna get your money. You're gonna save so much money in the other stuff. You'll bring it back to you. And that's what we kind of do. And then we also have if you're a brand new beekeeper through the local college, we put up a beekeeping course that, it gives you the basics, it's just a basic start, that kind of thing. Everybody, I tell them, I said, you're going to kill your bees for the next 2 years.
That's how you learn. Sadly.
Website you want to give out, Charlie? Website?
My website? I mean,
for your club.
Oh, it's Susquehanna Beekeepers.
Susquehanna.
We have the Susquehanna River coming down out of Pennsylvania into the Chesapeake Bay. That feeds the Chesapeake Bay. And but it's SusquehannaBeekeepers.org. And we're in the area and all, but then of course, I put out a lot of videos. I mean, that's my thing, is I try to show how I do it. And I'm kind of like Mike, how it's how to do and how I do type of video. And these are the things that I have my grafting, several videos of that. And it's like something that, that most people don't know, like they'll have webbing in between these cells and stuff. I said, this past year, I watched Ian Stepler and looked at his frames, and I said, okay, we're going to grind the shoulders off of these grafting frames. And that brings you the pollen frame and the nectar frame closer. And it actually, you might say, corrects bee space. And you don't have that webbing in there because of that.
Hey, Charlie,
what?
Mark says, how does he become a member of your?
Susquehanna.
Susquehanna Beekeepers, you have to go online. But I mean, we don't really put out we put out some YouTube or Zoom videos and stuff like that. But I mean, but I belong, with beekeeping clubs, you really need to be a local type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for Charlie Life. What year is that going to start?
Charlie Life.
Charlie Life.
I guess the only thing I can say is I got my Sawmill Charlie Bee Farm YouTube thing. I'm doing pretty good. I'm up to 527 or more subs, and now I haven't put any.
Charlie's videos are very good, y'all. They remind me of something you'd see, like on like PBS or something, like on an instructional video, like Volunteer Garden or stuff like that. The way he does his videos is very good. I recommend anybody to go watch it.
My main thing is to be very detailed, because if you leave out a couple little details, whatever you're trying to do will fail. And you'll say, well, it didn't work for me. Well, that's because you forgot to tell that person, do this, this, and this,
right?
And that's, the little details make up the big thing.
No doubt. And I know, listen, folks, we're of course we're going 21 minutes over a normal, but I want to tell everybody now, we've only got like 26 people in here. So there's probably a 99.99% chance that everybody here is subscribed to Randy. But if for some reason you're not subscribed to 628 Dirt Rooster, if it's a family member of mine or something that hadn't found his channel yet, please go do that. But I'm sure everybody's already subscribed to you, Randy. Man, you're the man, you're the boss, as Earl calls you. And we appreciate you so incredibly much. You're real humble about it, and I know you hate for us to hero worship you so much, but that just kind of goes with the territory, buddy. You've done so much for all of us.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate y'all bringing me on. I enjoyed it, and maybe we do it again sometime.
I hope so, buddy. Yeah. I hope so. I hope you had a good time, man. That was it was really awesome that you could make the time to come on. You spent a lot more time with us than we deserve, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see y'all soon.
Hey, I hope so. Look forward to seeing you down there, buddy. Get that autograph pen ready.
One more thing.
What was that?
I want that, Randy. One more thing. Houston would even come on with Fred Dunn, but Houston came on for Randy McCaffrey.
Yeah. Houston couldn't make it. Houston couldn't make it that night.
I couldn't make it that night, guys.
Yeah.
I miss Fred. I really do.
I bet if Fred comes on again, Houston will make it that night.
I had to send Fred.
I'll try my best.
I wanted to comment that Houston and Fred Dunn have never been seen together in the same room.
I guess that's true so far. Maybe we can change that here before long. But
the Superman thing going
there. Yeah, awesome.
Thanks, guys. Everybody have a great
see y'all later.
Awesome. See you guys so much. Thank y'all so much.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now that we're in the home stretch announcement, something I want to tell everybody is I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break and have more of a behind the scenes role with Houston and Earl. And so I'm not real sure we'll be locked in. We all get a little bit tired, sometimes doing these every week, and there's some anxiety that goes with it, because you what are we going to talk about? Should we say this? Should we not have said that? And there's all that kind of stuff. And so we want to we just want to get on here, have a good time, set a good example, and then So we won't all burn out. We was thinking about maybe just kind of, it would be to be determined. And if these guys want to do one on Thursday nights, we'll set up a link, and we'll go from there. So it may not be every Thursday night, but then again, it might be, I guess, depending on how everybody feels. But I'll have less of an upfront role, be kind of behind the scenes, and may occasionally come on and do a little presentation or something. I got some ideas on some instructional stuff if Houston or want me to come on. But it's been
trying to get him not to, guys. So
I'll be here. I
I'll
just won't be up front as much.
it is like Lee, said there, off season is pretty hard.
Yeah.
To talk about stuff. And it's like me, I haven't put out a video in the last 2 or 3 weeks because number one, I've been sick with a head cold and sore throat and all that stuff, but it's nothing really to video right now.
It's right. It's that time of year, and it's kind of hard to have anything interesting.
I'm going to try to do a whole bunch down at Hive Life, some cameos, like Johnny's going to be there. So I'm going to have a cameo with Johnny.
That's awesome, man. Well, that'll be a mutually beneficial video then, Charlie.
You can do all that kind of stuff. And then I don't know. I thought about doing a video here real soon about letting everybody know I'll be down there. I got a lady here that's doing, she designed a logo for me for my hoodie, and I got a hat logo, type of thing. And that way you can, if you're not sure who it is, I got my, logo on my back or whatever.
Yeah. And, awesome. Everybody knows you. Everybody knows you, Charlie. Just as long as they don't get you mixed up with chainsaw, Charlie. That's the only thing that hadn't happened in a while.
I haven't seen. We haven't seen Phil for I don't know a month or two now. I was wondering what happened to him from Ireland.
Yeah, Earl said he had been a little bit too busy, I think, to come on the show, and we're hope to seeing him back sometime.
Last time that I chatted with him, he's still getting everything back together over there to get back into a situation where he can come back out. I've been talking with him.
Good.
Well, at least he's, it's not health issues or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's not health issues.
Yeah,
awesome. That's good to know.
I know it's some personal issues, but anyway, I'm excited to be down there, and I'm going to try to, like I say, put at least 1 or 2 videos out here in the next few days.
That'd be great, Charlie.
I got myself a brand new computer here that does I don't know, it's got like a 32-inch screen and everything else. So.
Did you get one like Lee? Because I heard you asking Lee.
Yeah, I took what he.
Oh, you got the Cadillac. You got the Cadillac.
Well, I don't know. I took his specification. I happen to have a guy that knows how he custom built it for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm been. When it comes to video editing, it was definitely
much quicker, isn't it? You probably render stuff in seconds now compared to.
Just bringing the program up to be able to use it instead of going a minute, it's almost instantaneous. So
that's awesome, cool. Man. That's
all
awesome.
Right, I better shut up.
No, Charlie, man. It's great talking to you, buddy. I'd talk to you all night, but I'm gonna have to make a restroom break here pretty quick.
Yeah.
But we like to share some scripture every week. Tim and Hannah with Gunline Bees, they've been putting up some Bible verses on Sunday mornings, and so we've just been sharing those. And this week we've got 2 Chronicles 31:5. As soon as the commandment came abroad, the children of Israel brought in abundance the first fruits of corn, wine, and oil, and honey, and all the increase of the field, and the tithe of all things brought they in abundantly. I think Tim and Hannah do an amazing job. They're a great husband and wife team that do beekeeping together.
Yeah, love those guys.
I appreciate y'all so much if you're still listening, or if you watch this on the replay, for sharing that with us. Great scripture. And we always like to say, God bless everybody, God bless your family, and God bless your bees. And so, Houston, how you got anything you want to say? Hey, Frank, buddy, we hadn't had a chance to talk to you.
I was going to say hello to Frank.
Came in late.
I always pops in at the last minute on us.
I was going to ask Charlie about the bees. He has the 2 different kinds. I was wondering how much they really mix. I heard somebody say they don't really mix too well. Like,
I don't know. Most of my bees are these Cardinal and Italian mix is what they're telling me they are, and everything.
And the Russian, does that mix in well or not?
I just don't like Russians. I don't know. They just, you grow up with an Italian bee, and then over the years you learn the characteristics of that bee,
right,
and how they grow and how fast and what they do and whatever. And a Carney, a Russian acts different, and I just haven't fooled with them that much. And I had them years ago, and I'm like, I'm getting rid of these things. I like big bee, like a lot of bees.
The point you made, Charlie, about how conservative they are with their food stores, that's real interesting to me. Now, let me ask you this: do they in the spring when there is a source, do they like grow out real quick? Can you get as much honey off of them?
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
Gus Mitchell, that's what he does.
They go through the winter with a smaller cluster. If there is a dearth, they shut down. They don't keep on producing like an Italian does as far as new bees. And but they do. I think in the spring they'll start up, build up pretty quick. But now they also have a tendency to swarm on you a lot.
Oh, really? So because they build up so quick, and
I guess, I mean, I haven't really had that much problem. Now, the last 2 years I've been doing single brood chamber management, and I'm going to do another video this come spring about the Demery hive, which was invented back in 1865, right after the Civil War.
Yeah.
And it's where you're moving the brood from you keep the queen in the bottom in one box, and you keep pulling out cat brood, or you could pull out some open brood and make queen cells if you needed queens. And you put, it's brood in the bottom, queen excluder, honey super, and then another brood box on top. But you keep cycling the brood out of the bottom, not all of it, just about half of it, and you don't have the swarms. They get real strong and they make a ton of honey. And what I've been doing for 2 years is I've been taking that brood out and maybe taking it over to another hive where they're weak, or they need to be built up. And
using it like a resource.
Yeah. But what you're doing is you're let's say if you got 6 frames of cat brood, pull half of that out, 3 of them, put 3 frames of drawn wax in.
Right.
And I got this one video. It's about single brood chamber. It's the second video, and I call it explaining the mechanics of it. And basically, she lays up the whole bottom box. They can't put any honey there except for some small amounts of resources. And they have to put everything upstairs, right where the beekeeper wants it, in the honey super. And you think that you're knocking the bees back, by taking brood out of that hive, but you're not. The thing about swarm season is you're maintaining the population where they don't swarm.
You're relieving the congestion so they don't swarm, and then all of a sudden you give them that.
It's all about
timing.
Population.
It's timing in each other. Man, that's fascinating.
And that's the thing. Now it's work. You got to be in there every 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, right. If you miss it, they're going to swarm on you because they're out of space, aren't they?
They're going to get ahead of you.
Right.
I mean, if you're a beekeeper that doesn't want to look at them but once a month, it ain't going to work for you.
That won't work. Cool, man. Hey, fellas.
I'm making lots, I got 850 some pounds of honey this year.
Man, that's impressive, Charlie.
And the year before that was better weather, and I got 1,100 pounds. That was my first year. And I'm like, whoa,
man,
from 500 pounds of honey to 1,100 pounds. But the weather was perfect. The weather was perfect.
Yeah.
This past year we had a lot of rain, and they cut the locust trees back. The power line people did. That messed me up a little bit there. But
hey, Charlie, real quick. Tell them about the comb honey.
Combed honey? I haven't done anything yet, but I think that I would like to try that. And I think I have enough population doing it this way that that's the big thing about it is comb honey is having the population and stuff and all. And I think that'll work real well and everything. Awesome. And that was one thing I did notice, and I'm not sure if I made that in a video, is that I went in and looked at the honey super, and there was this money, the honey super frames on top were completely covered with bees. And that was a hive that really produced honey. Whereas the next hive next door, where you had hardly any bees in the honey super or a small amount, maybe on the frames, on the sidewalls, but they weren't up on top because they weren't overpopulated. That was a hive that didn't make the honey. So I'm like, oh, okay. Population makes a huge difference, but you got to manage that queen too. So that's more videos that I want to do to point those things that you learn by experience.
See how good Charlie is at explaining things, man. That's why your videos are so good. You, like you said, detail, and you try to make sure you don't leave anything out.
I mean, when you're putting the video out, it's all in the detail, because if you want to explain something to a guy that's 1,000 miles away, you have to do it that way.
That's right.
So.
Awesome. Fellas, it's been an amazing night, man. Thank y'all for coming in and spending so much time with us.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Houston, you got anything to say before we take it home, buddy? And hey, Houston and Earl will be deciding if they want to do a show. It's the 29th next week. It would normally be, let's see, it would normally be back on back on Earl's channel. And so if he don't want to and Houston wants to, they'll let me know. We'll put up we'll do a notice where it's going to be and when. How's that sound?
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. Well, hey, listen, before we go, my second cousin, twice removed, finally made the news, and I wanted to share that news clip with y'all, and then after that, I'll play the show intro, and hey, it's been great seeing y'all.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hey, remember the reason for the season, guys. See if I can find this here. Here it goes.
Crashing a car was bad enough, but investigators say it led to 2 people inside that car being attacked by bees. It happened last night on Patton Spur Road in Laurel County. Police say a car hit a utility pole and bothered a hive of bees nearby. New tonight, Garrett Weimer talks to someone who lives in that area who saw it all happen.
Neighbors along Patton Spur Road are still, buzzing about what happened.
Well, I just had got done feeding my chickens, watering them and stuff, and I walked back to my house there to get my phone so I could play a video game on it. And all of a sudden, I heard a big boom. I looked back out my door, and the electric pole fell, and the lines were falling, and the geotacker's sideways into the fence.
Then the folks inside the car got a big surprise.
Well, he didn't know it, but he found out that there was a hive of bees that was located there, and he disturbed them.
And there's a guy come out screaming and squalling and running around about like a chicken with his head cut off.
Anderson then says they ran up the road, grabbed a hose outside his home, and started trying to spray off the bees.
I told him he needed to get out of that water, but say I didn't know he was getting eaten up by bees. I thought he was just high.
Deputies say the couple were under the influence of drugs. They say they had driven down the road looking for a place to swim.
That girl in that little bikini, she had a little red dot over her.
Even Gary Lee got stung while he was out there. Needless to say, investigators call it an unusual case, but everyone around here hopes the 2 learned a serious lesson.
Think they learned their lesson? I'd say by today they are. If I feel like my leg feels, I'd say they're learning.
In Laurel County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
A painful lesson one way or the other. Deputies say the 2 were taken to the hospital. They say the driver, Noah Elkins, was cited with DUI, and the passenger, Priscilla Simpson, was charged with public intoxication.
Believe it or not, John, that happened not far from the house.
Yeah, I knew it.
12 miles down the road.